Welcome to Sacrilegious Discourse.
For this is what the Sovereign Lord says.
Why do you need prophets to tell people who you are and what you want?
If you can justify everything that the God of the Bible has done, then you can justify any of your behavior.
A lot of this mentality is trickling into what is now mainstream right-wing Christianity.
I am capable of empathy greater than this God of the Bible.
This is a Bible that they tell kids. This is the good Lord. This is the good book. He is fantasizing about murder, mass murder.
Head over to sacrilegiousdiscourse.com right now to find out how to leave us a review or support us on Patreon.
Hey there, sinners and saints. It's your favorite Bible-bashing duo from Sacrilegious Discourse, and we need your help.
That's right, folks. We're raising funds for some heavenly equipment and a studio that doesn't sound like it's in the depths of hell.
Our current setup, let's just say it's more apocalypse than audiophile.
So if you want to hear us dissect the Bible without the background noise of demonic squirrels, chip in a few bucks.
We're aiming for $5,000 to upgrade our audio and build a studio worthy of blasphemous banter.
Donate today and help us spread the good word of atheism.
You can find a link right on our homepage, sacrilegiousdiscourse.com. Every dollar counts.
Even if it's from your collection plate. Husband,
Wife!
do you know what we're doing and where the hell we are?
Well, we're having to dig back into things here because it's been a little bit since we've done anything. And we do want to apologize for that. We've been doing a lot of, recovering, I guess, would be the best word.
My arm is broken.
Yeah, yeah.
It's so broke.
It's caused a little bit of a strain on our podcasting schedule because it's hard for wife to research with one hand.
Yeah.
And also I'm working a lot more. So that there's a couple things that are working against us right now.
Yeah.
And also wife has surgery coming up soon.
I do. By the time
for her, she'll be part metal by the time you.
By the time you're hearing this Monday morning, I will be having surgery tomorrow.
Yeah.
Which is Tuesday.
Yeah, to get metal put in your hand.
And they're putting a metal plate in my hand.
Right. That's fun.
I'm on my way to becoming the bionic woman.
Yeah. So as far as where we are in the Bible, we're still in Hosea.
We are Hosea.
Yeah, and we just got done reading, not just, but we read last Hosea Chapter 5. And in that chapter, God is using Hosea to basically call everybody out on their unfaithful bullshit of worshiping idols, I guess.
Yeah, like as I recall, chapter 5 or 4 and 5, I think, stepped away from his personal
he wasn't using his wife anymore as the main culprit of
he
horribleness.
Was just calling out Israel and Judah and saying, you bad because this, you bad because that.
Yeah, and he was calling out the leaders, the priests, and the people, everybody.
Like, we've already been here so many times.
Right, and God just hates it when people worship anybody but him, and then he's like, but if you do worship me, then I'll love you, and, everything's cool, but don't worship other things, because otherwise I'll kill you.
Yep.
And then that's the general shittiness of God, right? Yep. I mean, like, all through the Old Testament. So, speaking of non-shittiness, jumping away from the shittiness of God, we have a new patron.
What?
Yeah. So we wanted to do a shout out for Bethany R.
Bethany!
Yeah, and Bethany is our newest patron, and they let me know that they were a daughter of a Baptist preacher.
Oh my goodness, Bethany!
Yeah.
My sincerest sadnesses to you.
Well, I hope that that works. I don't know the whole story behind it, but I know sometimes that causes strains on families. Yeah. So that can be a little rough sometimes. Yeah. But
Christmas and Thanksgiving gotta be hard.
Also, I don't know if it's pastor or preacher. Like, I never know what to say for which denomination. I always screw that up because I never was part of it, so I don't understand which is which. But
I think that
I know that we had a Baptist preacher be our landlord, pastor be our landlord one time.
It was pastor. Yeah.
Right. So maybe it's pastor.
Yeah. I think that a lot of the Christian denominations are pastor.
Could be. I don't know for sure.
I imagine preacher is like somebody in the South. You know what I mean?
I know that there are distinguishing. I don't know. Who knows? I'm speaking out of my ass.
And
really.
then padre or father is Catholic.
Yeah, I was
right?
going to say that sounds more Catholic. So
Yeah.
That's where I would go with that. But anyway, Bethany, thank you so much.
Oh yeah, thank you, Bethany,
for becoming a patron. You really help us out more than you'll ever know.
We are so grateful, Bethany. Thank you.
Yeah. And that being said, we, like I said, we just finished Hosea chapter 5.
Yes, we did.
Which means that today we're getting into
Hosea chapter 6.
All right, let's do this.
Okie dokie. All right, we are jumping into Hosea chapter 6, or as I like to call him, Hosehead. And I don't know if you recall because it's been so long, but chapter 6 actually began at the end of the previous chapter, chapter 5.
Right.
And that small little section, it was just like one verse at the end of chapter 5.
Yeah.
That starts this next bit that we're going to read, which is subtitled The Insincerity of Israel's Repentance.
Okay.
So I'm going to start with that verse at the end of chapter 5.
Yeah. All
Okay?
right. Sure.
All right. Then I will return to my lair until they have borne their guilt and seek my face. In their memory, they will earnestly seek me.
That's right. I was like when he says lair, it sounds an awful lot like a dragon. I think I said that the last time.
Yeah.
But who refers to their place where they dwell as a lair?
Beowulf. JK.
I mean, it would be more fun maybe if everybody called their house like a lair instead of a house.
Yeah, I would like that.
I need to return to my lair.
You should say that when you leave work and just see what your coworkers say.
Right.
And like another time refer to it as your castle.
Yeah.
Another time refer to it as your dungeon.
Right.
Your oubliette. Just see if they like react to any of those.
Right.
All right, so now we're starting chapter 6, okay?
Yep.
All right. Come, let us return to the Lord. He has torn us to pieces.
Oh. That's what I'm saying when people tear me to pieces.
Lamb.
Let's return to that.
That sounds exciting.
Yeah.
But he will heal us.
Oh, okay.
He has injured us, but he will bind up our wounds. After 2 days, he will revive us. On the third day, he will restore us. What does this sound like?
Sounds like Jesus,
doesn't
sort
it?
of, a little bit.
That we may live in his presence. Let us acknowledge the Lord. Let us press on to acknowledge him. As surely as the sun rises, he will appear.
As the sun rises, huh? Okay. Yeah.
He will come to us like the winter rains, like the spring rains that water the earth. What can I do with you, Ephraim? What can I do with you, Judah? Your love is like the morning mist, like the early dew that disappears. My dew better disappear. It's a bad day when my dew doesn't disappear.
I'm not sure what you're getting at there exactly.
I mean, I've clogged the toilet once in my life.
What is that? Oh wow, that went somewhere I was not expecting.
If your dew doesn't disappear, then you're in trouble.
Oh, yeah,
right?
Yeah, I wasn't. My mind wasn't there. So
I mean, sometimes once in a while.
I got it.
Yeah. Like, I thought that happened to everybody at least once.
Yeah, sure.
All right. So anyway, dew disappears.
Yeah.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Therefore, I cut you in pieces with my prophets. I killed you with the words of my mouth. Then my judgments go forth like the sun. For I desire mercy, not sacrifice, an acknowledgement of God rather than burnt offerings. As at Adam, they have broken the covenant. They were unfaithful to me even there. Gilead is a city of evildoers, stained with the footprints of blood. As marauders lie in ambush for a victim, so do bands of priests. They murder on the road to Shechem, carrying out their wicked schemes.
Okay.
I have seen a horrible thing in Israel. There, Ephraim is given to prostitution. Israel is defiled. Also for you, Judah, a harvest is appointed. Whenever I would restore the fortunes of my people, comma. And then
that's it.
And then we cut off mid-sentence.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you want me to read the rest of the sentence?
Yeah, I guess so, because that's a weird
right?
place to cut off. So technically we're going to go into 7 a little bit, but we're going
just a little bit.
Cover it again probably when we get into 7
yeah, we
also.
will.
Okay.
Also for you, Judah, a harvest is appointed. Whenever I would restore the fortunes of my people, and here we go into the next chapter. Whenever I would heal Israel, the sins of Ephraim are exposed, and the crimes of Samaria revealed. Okay, and I won't go any further into chapter 7.
Okay, all right. So, he's basically saying that they can love him, but they aren't, and their love disappears, and then he's like, and I'm gonna fuck you up. Some more. Like, God's always fucking him up.
Yeah.
That's the gist of this, right?
I think it's kind of hard to read, but he was going back to saying even as far back as Adam, my people been fucking up.
Right, which we comment on all the time because like you are not a very good God that can't get your people in line. And
right?
And more than that, like if you have this ability to see what's coming down the pike, right?
Why are you surprised?
Right, why are you surprised? It doesn't make any sense. Why are you mad? Why do you even give a fuck? If it's all
true.
meant to be, if it's all predestined, it doesn't fucking matter. Yeah. None of it matters unless you made it to where you predestined yourself to be pissy,
right,
and kill people. Yeah. Like that's weird, man. That is a weird way to handle your creation.
Yeah, it is. And
so
I don't care for it.
Right, and I don't care. This is a group of people that are just like, they want their God to be the best God, and they see these other people that are not as perfect at worshiping their God as them, and they're like, dudes, you guys are gonna get fucked up if you don't worship this God correctly. Yeah, that's all this is. Yeah. Sorry, I don't know where I'm going with this. It's the same fucking thing every goddamn chapter.
It really is. So, I'm just tired of God being like, ugh, my people, right?
Right.
And then the people going,
it's a little tiring.
Yahweh, am I right?
Yeah, it's very tiring.
I'm like, just break up or get together, whatever. Nobody cares about your teen drama.
Yeah, definitely. So that was a pretty short chapter.
It really was.
But that was Hosea chapter 6.
It sure as fuck was.
Which means that, and we're going to definitely try to actually do this. We're going to be back tomorrow with
Hosea chapter 7.
All right. We'll see you then.
Bye. Husband.
Wife.
Do you know where we are and how the hell we got here?
Well, we just finished Hosea chapter 6. And in that chapter, God was comparing Israel's love for him to the morning dew, which sounds, beautiful until you realize that the dew disappears. And that's what he meant by it, is that they love him for a bit and then they're like, bye. Yeah. And then
they're fair weather friends.
And he doesn't like you anymore and he does horrible things to you, but then he'll love you again at some point because you might go back and love him some more. And then he'll be like, yay. And then probably he'll kill you again later. But that's the gist of, what's going on.
Right.
Yeah.
Sure as fuck is.
So that was Hosea chapter 6.
Yes.
Which means that today we're getting into
Hosea chapter 7.
All right. Let's do this.
Okie dokie. All right. We are hopping into Hosea chapter 7.
That is correct.
But I have to go back to 5 a little bit.
Oh, wow. That's a ways back. Yeah.
Because that's where this little bit started. At the end of chapter 5. Yeah. And it was called the insincerity of Israel's repentance. And that's what God is going on and on about.
It's interesting because I remember we cut off midway through a sentence in Hosea chapter 6.
Yes, and that's where I'm going next.
Right, but considering it was such a short little piece, why didn't they just finish it in chapter 6? Doesn't make sense.
The scroll got torn. You don't know.
But then why is there longer? It doesn't actually make sense though. It's just dumb.
I don't know. I don't know how these things looked in Latin. Okay. I just don't know anything about it.
Right.
So you're just going to have to trust that this is what we have.
This is the way it is, and that's all there is to it.
This is what God wanted us to have. So, praise Jeebus.
God, yeah,
okay?
Right. No.
All right, no. So, chapter 7 starts in the middle of a sentence that was begun in the previous chapter, which I'm going to read.
Okay.
So, right now I'm starting at chapter 6, verse 11. Also for you, Judah, a harvest is appointed. Whenever I would restore the fortunes of my people, ...
Right.
Continued in chapter 7.
Right.
Whenever I would heal Israel, the sins of Ephraim are exposed and the crimes of Samaria revealed. They practice deceit. Thieves break into houses. Bandits rob in the streets. But they do not realize that I remember all their evil deeds.
They don't realize that. Yeah.
They don't realize it. You didn't tell them often or loud enough.
He doesn't tell anybody anything.
I know.
And then when he does, he tells, like we've talked about before, he tells some random dude that you have to know that that's the right one to understand that he's telling what God is saying.
Exactly.
Otherwise, there's other priests out there. He's already talked about it in this book also, as well as other books we've talked about, where they're going on about, how they should worship other gods too. Yep. And so who are these people supposed to believe, and why should they believe him over them?
I don't know.
Doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make any fucking sense. I probably wouldn't choose any of them because they all silly.
Right.
Their sins engulf them. They are always before me. Ooh. They delight the king with their wickedness, the princes with their lies. They are all adulterers, burning like an oven, whose fire the baker need not stir from the kneading of the dough till it rises. On the day of the festival of our king, the princes become inflamed with wine, and he joins hands with the mockers. Their hearts are like an oven. They approach him with their intrigue. Their passion smolders all night. In the morning it blazes like a flaming fire.
So they're getting drunk and having some passion, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
They're making fire in them woods.
Yeah, right.
Mm-hmm. All of them are hot as an oven. They devour their rulers. All their kings fall, and none of them calls on me.
Okay.
All right. Ephraim mixes with the nations. Ephraim is a flat loaf not turned over.
Oh, so we're describing different tribes here that don't worship Yahweh correctly.
Yeah, as different kinds of bread.
Okay,
yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Foreigners,
which loaf for you?
Right? I just want to eat the bread.
Yeah, right.
Foreigners sap his strength, but he does not realize it. His hair is sprinkled with gray, but he does not notice. Israel's arrogance testifies against him, but despite all this, he does not return to the Lord his God or search for him.
Okay.
Good, what a doo-doo head.
Right.
Ephraim is like a dove, easily deceived and senseless, now calling to Egypt, now turning to Assyria. When they go, I will throw my net over them. I will pull them down like birds in the sky.
Oh, okay.
When I hear them flocking together, I'll catch them. He's gonna get them. Gotta get them all.
Right.
Woe to them. Woo! Woe to them.
Yeah.
Because they have strayed from me. Those bitches.
Right.
Destruction to them because they have rebelled against me. I long to redeem them, but they speak out about me falsely. Those bitches.
It strikes me that today even that there's a lot of people who will blame the things that are going wrong in our society on those who don't worship Christ, right?
Yeah.
And it's just like there is this sense that if you can blame bad things on the people that don't worship the same God you do, right?
Yeah.
And it's just such an easy scapegoat for people to be like, it's all your fault because you don't worship the right way or enough or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's always easier to be angry at people,
Yeah.
And it's not as easy to look inward. And I feel like that this is kind of how this thought process was going back then, is like, let's be angry at these people and not at ourselves.
Always the foreigner.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Always. They do not cry out to me from their hearts, but wail on their beds. They slash themselves, appealing to their gods for grain and new wine, but they turn away from me. I trained them and strengthened their arms, but they plot evil against me. They do not turn to the Most High. They are like a faulty bow.
Right,
bow.
right.
Their leaders will fall by the sword because of their insolent words. For this, they will be ridiculed in the land of Egypt.
Oh.
The end.
Okay. Okay. But I thought they were turning to Egypt and Assyria for help or something.
This is so back and forthy, timey-wimey.
Right. I have the sense that we're referring to something that was happening back then. Like there's all these, again, it's political machinations that are happening, and it's hard for us to grasp exactly what's going on and what they're referring to, because obviously we're not there.
Exactly.
And that's not what's happening now.
Right.
But this is the word of God referring to these things, but they're not relevant,
right.
And that alone takes away from this message that God has, because we're not talking about anything that anybody today has any inkling about.
Right.
So it just loses a lot of the oomph that maybe it had back then,
Well, hopefully I'll have some better information for Q&A.
Right.
Yeah. I just did the mildest of glancing over research for this.
Right.
And didn't really, I don't want to say I didn't see anything, but there was nothing that was just short that I could just bring to explain different things in this. Everything was either irrelevant, boring, or like super lengthy.
Well, and my understanding is that a lot of this stuff right now in Hosea that we're reading is a collection of stuff that he wrote at different points in time. And it wasn't really, there's not really any...
They're not chronological.
Yeah, right. So it's going to be hard to follow, I think, throughout this.
Yeah.
And again, the messaging is the same thing we've heard all through the OT.
Yeah, right? It's not new at all. It's just a different dude saying it.
Yeah. So it's kind of repetitive. It's kind of disjointed. And here we are, more Bible.
Yep.
So that was Hosea chapter 7.
Sure as fuck was.
Which means that tomorrow, hypothetically, we have some stuff going on with your surgery and different things that are popping up. But hypothetically, tomorrow we'll be back with...
Hosea chapter 8.
All right. We'll see you then.
Bye. Husband.
Wife.
Do you know where we are and how the hell we got here and what happened?
Well, we just got done reading the Hosea. Jesus Christ.
Hosehead.
I was having trouble there. My brain went through the whole litany of fucking prophets that we've gone through. And I was like, wait, no, not that. Hosea, that's the one. Yeah.
You kept trying to say Isaiah for the longest time.
I did. Well, I almost said it just now.
I kept saying Joshua.
Yeah. No, it's Hosea. Chapter 7 is what we just got done reading.
And that's why I keep calling him Hosehead.
Right. Well, it is easier with the nicknames, because then they're not as confusing. Well, they're still confusing. But anyway, I digress. That was Hosea chapter 7 that we just finished. And in that chapter, we heard more about how God thinks the Israelites suck. And they were working with other people in other countries, and he's like, "You suck," and they were like, "Man, we gotta do our thing." And he's like, "You suck," and he's like, "I'm gonna kill you." And of course, if they just stop sucking, then they can be redeemed, and they wouldn't suck.
It seems like this is what happened yesterday.
It's basically what happens every time. They suck. He hates them. He kills them. They might be redeemed. He doesn't hate them. He hates them again later, and he kills them again later.
He always chooses.
It's just like the same fucking pattern over and over and over and over again, and it's just really, really irritating at this point.
I would be like, "Can we break up?"
Yeah, I at some point, don't you just be like, "Enough is enough, man."
You're
I'm
never
done.
Happy. You keep moving the goalpost.
Right. Just fuck off or something.
Right.
Yeah.
Be big, go big or go home. Right, is what you want to tell God.
Right.
Say your say and say it loud and proud and, come out to all of us, or go the fuck away and leave us alone. Stop killing us.
Yeah, I feel like they'd be better without him, He doesn't really seem to do much for them.
No.
On a large scale or anything,
right.
So other than he tells them to multiply, have sex and stuff, but just not under the trees out in the high places. Because that's not good.
And never with a girl who's menstruating.
Right. Yeah. That definitely not that.
But sometimes
it's important shit.
Sometimes with your brother's wife.
Yeah, but only in certain cases.
Right.
Yeah.
And every once in a while with your mom.
Sure. Anyway, that was Hosea chapter 7.
Sure as fuck was.
Which means that today we're getting into
Hosea chapter 8.
All right, let's do this.
Okie dokie. All right, so we are hopping into chapter 8 of Hosea. Hosea. And it's a new little bit. So,
it's a new little bit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's starting fresh. This is like...
Oh, meaning that it's not the same section that we were covering the last 3 episodes or whatever, basically?
Right.
Okay.
That, ran on.
Right.
Like,
it was the same sub whatever heading thing.
Right. This is a completely new area.
Okay.
Okay?
All right.
Put the trumpets to your lips.
Oh, yeah, do that, because, that's fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
An eagle is over the house of the Lord, because the people have broken my covenant and rebelled against my law.
That was a lot of things said in a row that don't make any fucking sense.
Right.
I'm sure they must make sense to somebody.
They do.
But not me.
So the eagle is the Assyrians. That was their sign. Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So he's saying, sound the klaxon bells, the warning, the sirens, you know.
Right.
Let it be known that the Assyrians is coming. The Assyrians is coming.
I just want to point out, because a lot of people like to point out things in Hosea that relate to the quote-unquote Babylonians. But here we are talking about the Assyrians again in Hosea.
Right.
So these things that they talk about, in my mind, refer to the Assyrians, not the Babylonians, because that was what was impending at the time, was the Assyrians.
Exactly.
Right? And because the same devastation didn't happen with the Assyrians as happened with the Babylonians, people just gloss over the fact that he mentions the Assyrians a whole hell of a lot.
He does. He really does.
So I just wanted to point that out, because to me, I'm like, no, he's talking about the Assyrians when we're talking about them being captured and conquered. Right. That's what he thinks is going to happen. So.
Exactly. So he's saying that Assyria has, is on the march. They're coming. And the reason is because the people have broken my covenant.
Of course they have.
And rebelled against my law.
As always, they always do that.
So now that whole first verse makes perfect sense to you.
Yeah.
Okay. Israel cries out to me, our God, we acknowledge you.
They do, huh?
But it doesn't sound sincere.
I wouldn't imagine it would.
No. But Israel has rejected what is good. An enemy will pursue him. They set up kings without my consent. They choose princes without my approval. With their silver and gold, they make idols for themselves to their own destruction.
As I recall, and this was us going into like the King's, books, like Kings 1 or whatever, there was discussion of how God was just going to let them do their own thing and choose their own kings, which he wasn't happy about.
Right.
But it was like a thing, right?
Well, yeah. Okay, I see what you're saying, but I also see what he's saying. He's like, look, I was not for you guys doing this, and then look, you did it, and
you're making
of course,
bad choices.
Yeah, and then the second that you go running off to do your own fucking thing, you forget to keep the law. And
I'd also like to point out though that a lot of these kings are put into power because of they're related to each other, right? Not because they're like voted in,
right? And a lot of times it's one nation appointing a leader into another one.
Yeah, like the Egyptians and the Babylonians have all had influence in these things, and I'm sure probably the Assyrians had some influence at some point too.
Yeah, so that makes it interesting, though.
Right.
Samaria, throw out your calf idol. Yeah, do. Throw it out.
Sure.
My anger burns against them. How long will they be incapable of purity? They are from Israel.
They never really came back, so I'm guessing like forever.
Right. This calf, a metal worker has made it. It is not God. It will be broken in pieces, that calf of fucking Samaria.
I'm just curious who made the ark.
Noah.
No, not that ark.
Oh.
The Ark of the Covenant.
The worker people.
Yeah. Much like that made the calf.
Yeah.
I'm just
worker people
saying.
Yeah.
That people have made things for God too. So
that's okay.
Because maybe we don't know much about this whole calf thing, right?
Right.
Maybe the calf is the vessel for their God. Right. Right. Much like the ark is the throne for their God.
Yeah.
So it could. I don't know anything about the fucking calf, right?
Right.
I'm just speaking hypothetically, right?
Mm-hmm.
But on a large scale, why are we getting mad about the calf when we have the ark and we have the crosses and we have all the shit,
I don't know if you noticed this or not, but believers in this particular God seem to have been filled with hypocrisy from day one.
It seems that way, yeah.
They sow the wind and reap the whirlwind. I'm going to be reading that phrase again in just a moment.
Okay.
The stalk has no head. It will produce no flower. Were it to yield grain, foreigners would swallow it up. Now, I have some notes about this. Verse 7, okay?
Sure.
It's interesting because I said so. Okay?
Oh, yeah.
They sow the wind and reap the whirlwind.
Yeah.
Okay. This is considered a proverb which states that works have rewards and actions have consequences, especially that people may face negative consequences for their bad actions.
Okay.
Okay.
Got it.
Several works of fiction have the title Reap the Whirlwind. And I just put down some that we might be familiar with, kind of.
Okay.
So there's a Star Trek book called Reap the Whirlwind by David Mack in 2007.
Okay.
Okay, and I'm not familiar with the books, but
Right,
I am
but
familiar
it's
with the
part of the
Star
Star
Trek
Trek
series.
world, yeah.
There's a one called Reap the Whirlwind, and that's a 1989 novel by C.J. Cherry and Mercedes Lackey. It's part of the Sword of Knowledge.
No idea.
Mercedes Lackey I'm familiar with. She's a very prolific and well-known fantasy writer.
Okay.
And then there is the Ronnie Reaps the Whirlwind, and that's a 2000 Doctor Who audio drama.
Oh.
Yeah. So,
okay. All right.
Yeah. I just thought I definitely need to include those because we know those things.
I mean,
we know those fandoms.
Right.
Yeah. So anyway, sow the wind and reap the whirlwind. Reap what you sow.
Got it. Yeah.
Anyway, if there were grain, we still wouldn't have it because
either
foreigners
it would not
get
grow, or if it does, then the foreigners will get it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Israel is swallowed up. Now she is among the nations like something no one wants, for they have gone up to Assyria like a wild donkey wandering alone. Ephraim has sold herself to lovers. Although they have sold themselves among the nations, I will now gather them together. They will begin to waste away under the oppression of the mighty king. Though Ephraim built many altars for sin offerings, these have become altars for sinning. I wrote for them the many things of my law, but they regarded them as something foreign. But dude, you didn't actually write them. Moses did.
No. Well, somebody did.
But
I don't think Moses wrote all the laws everywhere.
No,
and,
I'm just saying.
He certainly isn't the one that kept them alive in those areas. It was very, it was very, these things were very regional, right? So like, even though if you were worshiping a similar God, Yahweh, right? The idea of what that God is, it's a lot like, even in the U.S., right? We have our areas of the country that kind of worship, this Christian God differently. The South worships a little different than the North does, right? The people in Boston are more Catholic, generally speaking, right? And, there's just different areas of the country that worship this same God different ways. And I can imagine in a time where communication wasn't as accessible as it is today, that it would be even more so that way in those days. So they would seem, even after just a few generations, these areas that weren't even that far away would seem very foreign in how they worship their God. That is hypothetically the same God that you worship. Right. So it would almost be, it would be heretical to them because it's branched so far away in such a short period of time. And it just, that strikes me as how a lot of these problems kind of arise with them having these issues with their neighbors.
It makes me wonder how the early Israelites would get on with the right-wing people today.
Honestly, I don't think that they would even recognize themselves in what it is today.
I don't think that either group would recognize the other
right.
as a distant relative.
Yeah, it would. First of all, they would never. The right wing MAGA cult would never go back to what is religion in ancient Israel, right?
Sure.
For multiple reasons, and partly because it's not technically Christianity at that point. So
Right.
that's part of the reason. But also, the people in Israel would be probably horrified at what they have, what they embody and represent.
Right.
You know, it's just,
Right.
it's not, it's all about hate and fear mongering, and not that that's not present in the Bible, but it's more for preservation of their society as opposed to division of their society.
Right.
So,
Well, also, too, back then it was group on group
Right.
a lot. And today there's a lot of individual on individual.
that's very true. That's
and
very true.
it makes it kind of grosser.
Yeah.
All right. So let's finish this up. We are almost at the end.
Okay.
So God's saying, I wrote the things of my law, but them bitches, they don't even read it. Whatever.
Right.
Though they offer sacrifices as gifts to me, and though they eat the meat, the Lord is not pleased with them. Now he will remember their wickedness and punish their sins. Boom, bitches.
Okay.
They will return to Egypt. Israel has forgotten their maker and built palaces. Judah has fortified many towns, but I will send fire on their cities that will consume their fortresses. The end.
Judah has. That's interesting. Because again, earlier in this chapter, the same chapter, we were talking about Assyria. And we have also read from apologists that this whole prophecy in Hosea revolves around the Babylonian exile because that's convenient for them.
Right.
But and while it doesn't specifically say that these events are going to be the Assyrians doing these things, you wouldn't be talking about Assyria in the same breath as you're talking about these horrible events that are going to occur.
Right.
If you didn't mean for them to be done by the Assyrians.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like there's
Yeah.
it doesn't make any sense it doesn't make any sense to mention them if you're not going to utilize them as that tool.
Right.
So, and we've talked about this too, where these things that they see are what are coming down the pike. They can see it because we're talking about ancient times where things build up, and you see an army coming years in advance because they can't move as quickly. They got to collect, lines and fortify themselves.
They're
and keep,
able to see the winds of change in government.
Right. And if it doesn't come true, the nice thing about the Bible is I guess you can just attribute it to the next disaster. So,
And you can always say that God changed his mind and,
Right.
We prayed hard enough that,
sure.
or we sacrificed big enough that,
When you retrofit a meaning after the fact, you can make anything work.
Sure.
Like that's true about just about anything. So it's ridiculous.
It is.
Anyway, I should mention, if you're listening to this today, we actually recorded these episodes early, so we're actually recording this the night before wife is going in for surgery.
On Tuesday morning.
But you're going to be hearing this on Wednesday morning. So it'll be the day after. So everybody should stop by our Discord or Patreon or one of our social media accounts and just, wish wife good luck. Or, well, not good luck because it's already happened, but, wish wife a speedy recovery. So.
Yeah. I'm a little nervous, honestly. They're not putting me out for this. They're just going to numb my arm.
Yeah.
And
stick a metal plate in it.
Yeah. So I'm going to be like the Tin Woodman. And I'm not sure how I feel about that.
Have to get you an oil can,
Oh, yeah.
All right. Well, that was Hosea chapter 8.
Sure as fuck was.
And possibly, I don't want to promise anything because, again, circumstances and surgeries and whatnots. But possibly we will be back tomorrow with
Hosea chapter 9.
All right. We'll see you then.
Bye. Husband,
Wife.
do you remember even a little bit where the hell we are and what the hell we're doing?
Well, we recently read Hosea chapter 8.
We sure as fuck did.
And in that chapter, I know this is going to come as a shock to everybody, but Israel the Israelites were worshiping idols.
No.
Yeah, it's crazy, right? God's told him like 100 million times not to do it, and he gets pissed. He gets pissed off.
He wasn't pissed. No way.
Oh yeah,
he totally loves it when they do that, right?
No, he was pissed. And he said they've sown the wind and will reap the whirlwind.
Oh damn!
So I mean, that whirlwind, you got to watch out for that shit. And then obviously God's rejecting them and going to kill them all, and then he's going to reaccept them again because this is how we do things in the Bible. And that was basically chapter 8.
Okay.
Which means that today, after a little bit of a hiatus because of, would you like to fill in that part?
I had surgery on my arm.
You did.
I got my cast off, and I had surgery, and then they put a brace on, and then I got the brace off, that was a splint. I got the splint off, and then I had occupational therapy, and they checked my stitches, and I look like Frankenstein. It's really disgusting and gross.
It is.
Like it extends from my wrist to halfway to my elbow.
Yeah.
And I did not know that. And they had me sit down and lean back when they took it off, because they said a lot of people, when they first see their wound, that they get lightheaded and even pass out.
Oh, wow.
Because it's all bruised and cut up.
Yeah.
And I had no idea what it would look like.
Right.
But I didn't pass out.
Good job.
Yeah. And so now I just have a brace on.
Right. Which you're excited about.
I
because
am.
You have fingers again.
I have fingers, you guys. And I can use them.
Right.
And then also, I told him I'm a writer, and like someone who writes, not like a horse writer, like book
and also
writer.
Not like you have a published book.
No, right. I'm not an author.
You do the action of writing and would like to publish something someday.
Yes, I'm not an author. I am a writer.
Right.
And the therapist was like, "That's awesome, because that's great exercise for your wrist to heal, and so I want you to write as much as possible."
Well, that's great. Yeah, I'm happy that you're back and not, I don't know. It was you slept a lot.
I did, because it hurt so bad, and it still hurts a lot.
Right, but I think that this has given you a little bit of a mental, break.
Yeah,
like you're like, I can do things again.
It's a different kind of pain too.
Yeah.
Like before, it was like literally the bones broken and being reset.
Yeah.
And now it's a different kind of ache, where it's more like a long ache instead of like I just broke my fucking arm.
Mm-hmm. And you're working towards something positive, whereas it's going to heal.
Yes. And what was really nice is that I was able to see some progress already. Like when I first walked in, he had me hold my arms in certain positions, and then showed me some exercises that we recorded so that I could do them at home. And then afterwards, he had me hold my arms in those same positions that we started with, and I was already able to do more.
Well, that's great.
Yeah. So I'm healing. You guys, I'm getting better.
Yeah.
It's happening.
Yeah. No, we're very excited, and I'm excited to have you back, and I'm excited to do an episode. So,
And we're going to hop into Hosea Chapter 9.
Yeah, that's what we're doing. All right, let's do this.
Okie dokie. All right, we are hopping into Hosea Chapter 9.
Or Hosea.
If you want.
Well, I mean,
if you prefer,
just for logistic reasons.
If you like.
For exactness.
If you insist.
For the reasons.
If that's what you need it to be.
I don't need it to be shit. I just need to, label it. That's all.
Well, I have some bad news for you.
Bad news? Why?
Yeah, because this shit is the same shit that it's been.
I probably could have guessed that based on what we've been reading.
Like, God hates the Israelites, and the Israelites are such fuck
Right,
ups.
Yeah. I mean, that is pretty much how this book has tracked the whole way through, so.
So I thought that on certain lines, I might just randomly break into song because I'm feeling very musical inclined.
Okay.
Like Moulin Rouge or Mary Poppins,
okay.
Hamilton.
Let's try
Not Hamilton because I can't rap.
Right. You gotta watch those singing too much, because then we'll get like copyright things or something.
Well, I'm not stealing anybody's tune or words or anything.
You can, you are if you're singing it.
If I'm singing it, what song am I copywriting from?
I thought you just said you were going to sing Moulin Rouge or something like that.
No. I said I'm feeling musically inclined.
Oh.
Musicals such as, and then I was naming musicals.
So I was saying if you sing those,
But I'm not going to
it's going to
sing.
be copyright infringement.
I'm not going to sing those musicals.
Okay.
I was saying, musicals exist in the world. Here are some. Not that I was going to sing those.
I was confused. I'm sorry.
I just was trying to explain what musically inclined meant.
Got it.
Not that I am talented with music, but that there are musicals. Here's what I mean.
I thought you meant you were inclined to sing one of those throughout the episode.
Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
That's all I was
Because I
getting
ain't
at.
trying to get that copyright slap on me. Okay, that makes better sense. Now,
we got that hashed out.
Yeah, at an understanding.
Are you ready to read the fucking Bible?
No, I'm ready to sing the fucking Bible.
Oh, okay.
Do not rejoice, Israel.
Okay.
Do not be jubilant like the other nations. It's pretty good, yeah?
Yeah, I mean, you've got this so far.
For you've been unfaithful to your God.
Could never have guessed.
You love the wages of a prostitute at every threshing floor.
I mean, we're doing what we can here, right?
Right?
It's the same shit.
Yeah.
Except for, what are we talking about prostitutes for?
We're always talking about prostitutes.
Why do we love the wages of the prostitute on the threshing floor? Because if you're on the threshing floor,
You fucking. No, I don't think that's what it is.
Well, I mean,
I think it's that you love the wages of a prostitute. I think it's just another way of saying that all of your goods you're giving away to other gods, and that is like selling yourself. But I mean, obviously, I will check notes later.
Right.
I didn't really come across anything specific in my precursory glance.
right.
But that'll definitely be a question. But I assume just at what we are talking about, what we've been talking about, when they are giving up their goods to other gods, that is adultery, and the other nations are, and the other gods are prostitutes that
Got it.
Israel is paying.
Right.
So,
right. It symbolizes the temporary pleasures and material gains associated with the sinful behaviors that God's saying that they're doing and all that kind of
So it's just more of the same bullshit.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, let's read some, and then I'll just surprise sing again sometime.
Sure. Yeah. Okay.
Threshing floors and wine presses will not feed the people. The new wine will fail them.
Oh no, not
Womp,
that.
womp. Because they're not able to grow their wines.
Right, because
now.
it was the last chapter where they were like not going to have like
Yeah.
fruits and stuff like that because God's going to be like, no, fuck you.
God's like, fuck those grapes.
Right.
Fuck this grape, fuck that grape, fuck all of those grapes.
Right.
These grapes, fuck.
They're fucked.
Yep.
Yep.
They will not remain in the Lord's land. Ephraim will return to Egypt and eat unclean food in Assyria. They will not pour out wine offerings to the Lord, nor will their sacrifices please him.
I see.
Such sacrifices will be to them like the bread of mourners. Burr, 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 burr. All who eat them will be unclean, unclean, unclean.
I think wife is very jubilant to be back
I'm so
on the podcast here today.
Fucking happy.
So
You can't know. Like, I've just been like,
and by such, you're getting such a special episode today.
Yeah.
It's just not even by design. It's just happening.
since my cast and then my brace came off, I've just been, or splint. I keep saying splint and brace wrong.
Sure,
First it was
yeah.
the splint.
Right.
Now I have the brace.
Right.
Anyway, since the cast and then the splint came off, I've just been like clenching and unclenching my fist just because I can. Like, look at my fingies.
Right.
My fingies, they moving and doing. They going. This food will be for themselves. It will not come into the temple of the Lord.
And I don't blame them. You know, like if God's stopping shit from growing and your wine from making things correct, I'd be like, yeah, I'm just keeping my fucking food, dude.
Yeah.
So you can fuck right off with your 10%.
Do fuck right off.
Yeah.
What will you do on the day of your appointed festivals? On the feast days of the Lord? What will you do, honey?
Stay at home and avoid, having to mingle with your neighbors and eat your food that you fucking made, right?
Wait, that's what we do anyways. 2024, nothing has changed. Even if they escape from destruction, Egypt will gather them and Memphis will bury them. Remember, Memphis was a capital city of Egypt.
Yeah, but whenever I hear the word Memphis, all I can ever think of
is Tennessee.
I mean, that is where Memphis is.
Right.
But no.
Okay.
There's a song by Lyle Lovett called I've Been to Memphis, and it's like one of my favorite songs.
Okay.
So every time I hear Memphis, that's the first thing I think of. And when we went down to Memphis, I was like, hell yeah, I'm in Memphis. I'm in the place where that song was written about. And then I had what was that stuff called? The
jambalaya?
No, was it?
No.
Gumbo. I had gumbo.
You did.
I had never had gumbo before. It was so fucking great.
Yeah.
That was some good food. And now, one of my places I've always wanted to visit, and I'm sad that, it got hit by a hurricane, like Katrina kind of ruined New Orleans. But that's one of the places I've always wanted to visit. I know I need to go down there still because I need to eat jambalaya down in Louisiana.
Of course.
So.
Because
that's where you eat it.
That's where you eat
that's
it.
How you.
Yeah.
That's where it is.
Yeah.
But the one I had in Memphis was, I came home raving about it for probably the next 6 months.
You're still raving about it.
Yeah. This is years later.
Yeah.
You've
never stopped.
This is like a decade later.
Yeah, actually.
And I still talk about that goddamn gumbo.
Oh my God! When I think back, how long ago that was. We were babies.
But you know what? The best part was that song that I like, the "I've Been to Memphis" song by Lyle Lovett. Now I can say I've been to Memphis.
You can.
I mean,
now when you sing it's really not just to sing.
I've been to Memphis.
Yeah.
So
you have.
It was great.
Yep.
That's all.
Yep. Oh, remember we stayed in a hotel that across the street, the Beeb was staying at the hotel across the street.
No, there was a concert for the Beeb at that.
Okay.
It wasn't a hotel. There was a concert literally going on.
I'm sorry. I have the details confused because I was never into him. And one of our friends was like, it's the Beeb, because we were like, what's happening out there? And he goes, it's the Beeb. The Beeb is here. And we were like, what's a Beeb? And we kept asking everybody. And they were like, Justin Bieber. And we were like, oh yeah. Because
he was pretty new at the time.
He was just hitting his height.
Right.
And neither of our kids were into him.
Right.
At all.
Right.
One was too old and one was too young. And I was uninterested. So I'm like, what's a Babe?
Right.
I mean, we were more like Waverly Place.
That's
the Wizard,
which turns out to be one of his girlfriends.
Selena Gomez.
Point. Yeah. So
but she's so much. She's way too good for him.
Yeah,
she's so much better than he is.
We're also way off track here.
I mean, yeah, we are. But The Wizards of Waverly Place was like the best Nickelodeon or whatever show ever.
It was pretty good. Yeah,
I loved
appreciated it as a kid.
I don't know if it was Nickelodeon. It might have been Disney.
I have no idea. Probably was Disney. I think they were Disney.
Yeah.
I think Selena was a Disney girl.
Yeah. Disney princess girl.
Yeah.
Could be. I just call all those shows Nickelodeon shows.
Right.
Because that's what they are in my mind.
Got it.
Remember way back when we were kids, Kids Incorporated? That was the original after-school Saturday morning show.
Never really watched that.
What?
Yeah, it was all Sesame Street and Mr. Rogers for me.
Okay, listen to me. When me and my sister came home on Saturdays, when we came home from school on Fridays, we would fight for the newspaper unless my mom had some reason or another mysteriously bought a TV guide.
Right.
So it was either the newspaper or every once in a while the TV guide.
Yeah, but it was most often. I mean, for us too. It was most often
the newspaper.
Right.
Yeah. We would take markers and we would box out what we were going to watch the next day, Saturday morning.
Same.
And I mean, it was always like, I'll let you watch this if you let me watch that. And this is the one we agree that we both want to watch.
Right.
So there was always one.
Yeah.
I think ours was like She-Ra or He-Man. I think it was She-Ra during its brief run.
I don't remember. I definitely watched Masters, He-Man. I definitely watched that. But so you had a sister. So sisters, and I had a brother, so brothers, and we watched shit like Transformers and Thundercats and G.I. Joe, and
we watched the X-Men cartoon.
The X-Men show was great.
That was so good.
I love that one.
It was really good.
Yeah,
very strong cartoon that appealed to all audiences.
And of course, we watched things like the Smurfs. Of course, we had to watch the Smurfs.
Did you ever watch the Popples?
Briefly, yeah, because we actually did have one year where we got Popples for Christmas.
Same.
So, yeah, we must have watched the Popples.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
That was fun. Yeah. I know you watched the the gummy bears.
Oh, of course.
Because we both sing the gummy bear
Bouncing
song.
here and there and everywhere.
Exactly.
I mean, how do you not
High
watch
Adventures
them?
of Beyond Compare.
Right?
Yeah. I love the gummy bears.
The gummy bears were pretty good. Yeah.
So yeah, we always marked down Kids Incorporated. That was we both loved that show.
Got it.
So it was very important. It was like one of those high priority shows.
I don't know why, but it was never something that we watched. So I have no idea. I don't even know
lost.
when or where that was on, honestly.
There was another show that my sister hated, and so I had to give up so much if I wanted to watch this. It was called Kid Video. And it was these people, these like teenagers are in a rock band, right?
Okay.
And these bad guys are coming to steal their music or something. I don't know quite how it worked, but they ended up getting sucked into the TV, into cartoon land.
Yeah.
And that's the whole show was them running away from the bad guy producer or whatever in cartoon land.
Our childhood really loved the idea of putting real people in cartoons and cartoons, and that was like a thing that happened a lot. So like Roger Rabbit comes to mind, right?
Oh my God, that's such a good movie. Seeing the movie as a child versus seeing the movie as an adult, it hits so different.
Sure.
We really need to watch that again as like middle-aged adults.
Yeah. Just to see what we missed.
And I don't think the kid has seen it. We need to make kid watch that.
I don't know that we'll get the kid to watch that one with us.
You know what? If you are like, this is what we're doing,
they
might.
Okay.
Especially if we're like, you could just draw while you watch it.
Right.
Then they'll get sucked in.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. That's how we mind control our child.
Sure.
Okay, let's get back to this. Ready?
Yeah.
So you've been to Memphis, and that's where they bury, what do they bury? Even if they escape from destruction, Egypt will gather them and Memphis will bury them.
They're just going to bury them.
Yep.
Yeah.
Their treasures of silver will be taken over by briars and thorns will overrun their tents.
Oh, no.
Briars and thorns.
Man, that's rough.
That sounds like Sleeping Beauty. Briars and thorns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they were living in tents, though, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
The days of punishment are coming. The days of reckoning are at hand. Let Israel know this.
Okay, yeah.
Because your sins are so many and your hostility so great.
So many. So great.
The prophet is considered a fool. The inspired person, a maniac.
Oh.
Maniac.
Wow, that's strong words.
Okay, listen. When it says, because your sins are so many and your hostility so great, all I could think is like that movie, The Labyrinth. Or Labyrinth, where she's like, your king, my power is as great and my kingdom is whatever. I am messing up the line.
Yeah, and I don't know Labyrinth.
I know. And then but at the end she's like, you have no power over me.
Right.
But
I actually do remember that bit, kind of.
Yeah. But it feels like it drew from this. Your sins are so many and your hostility so great. For my kingdom is something and my power is great. I don't know. Whatever.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
I have it wrong, okay?
Yeah.
And everybody that's listening to this right now is so mad at me because I get all of the references right. And then just now I fucked up one of the best movie quotes of all time.
Well, you did just have surgery, so we'll just blame it on that.
That is true. Yeah. Okay. Well,
sympathy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sorry, everyone. The prophet, along with my God, is the watchman over Ephraim. Yet snares await him on all his paths, and hostility in the house of his God. Do you like that? I can sing church music. What?
Yeah. I just for the record, we're really just kind of doing this because this book has been the same fucking thing over and over again.
I was like, I need to shake things up.
Yeah, we need to have some fun. It's our first time. It's our first time back after wife has, got her other hand back.
Yeah,
kind of. Yeah, somewhat.
And I'm not up for boring.
Yeah, no, this wasn't a day for boring.
No, I need to have fun.
Yeah.
And this is fun.
Yeah.
I mean, don't I just sometimes burst into song sometimes for no reason?
You do. You yelled at me earlier in song.
I did. I was like, why are the boxes stacked so high? I'm not tall enough to reach them, you fucking asshole.
Yeah.
That's how I yell at husband a lot of times.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
It's more fun that way.
You think so?
And I used to do jazz hands, but obviously, I haven't been able to do that lately.
You could do jazz hand.
Yeah, it's just not the same. It's not the same. They have sunk deep into corruption, as in the days of Gibeah.
Those damn days of
Remember
Gibeah.
those days?
Man, those were rough days.
They were deep.
They were not great.
They were so not good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They had a lot of corruption.
They did. Deep. God will remember their wickedness and punish them for their sins.
Of course he will.
I bet he will. I
Yeah.
bet he will. When I found Israel, it was like finding grapes in the desert. When I saw your ancestors, it was like seeing the early fruit on the fig tree. But when they came to Baal Peor, they consecrated themselves to that shameful idol
Those damn shameful idols.
and became as vile as the thing they love. I'm so glad you're enjoying this.
I don't know what else to do. I'm just kind of like, wife is gonna just do this, so we're doing this.
I'm doing what I'm doing.
It's happening. This is the thing that's going on.
Look, here's the thing.
This is the thing.
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
We said that we were going to read every word of the Bible.
And we are doing it, by God.
I didn't say I was going to do it well, and I didn't say I was going to do it without song.
Right.
So
that's true.
You know?
And to be fair, if we go back, there was a song.
Yeah.
And we talk about this occasionally. It's like a myth. It's a legend.
Yeah.
It's a thing. Mm-hmm. There is an episode where we rapped maybe the whole fucking thing.
So not good.
It was really
I should have
bad.
just taken it upon myself.
I'm honestly surprised that some of our fans make it past that one. I'm like, whew, that one was rough.
I'm like, oh, y'all are for real.
When I find it occasionally, like every once in a while I find it and I'm like,
why?
that was, I almost want to delete that one, you know?
Why,
like,
God, why? Whatever. I don't mind because every single thing that we have done thus far is just a step further down the path to where
it's like
we're
that
going.
Song, If You Don't Know Me By Now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
You'll
I mean,
never,
if
never,
you didn't
never
know us
know
by
me.
then,
Yeah.
you were never going to know us. So.
But I have to tell you, I hate that fucking song because verse 2, right?
Yeah.
Verse 2, he goes, don't get a little offended. I don't want to fuss and fight, you know, if I stay out a little late at night. And I'm like, no, excuse you. If you stay out a little late at night as my partner, whether I'm married to you or you're my boyfriend or whatever, as my partner, I reserve the right to say, hey, where you been? And if you say, don't worry about it, then I'm not going to worry about it. I'm going to kick your ass out.
Right.
And I don't think that me saying that is a bad thing. Like, I don't think that me feeling that way makes me possessive or obsessive or crazy or dramatic or needy or clingy or overly emotional.
Right.
Because I guarantee you, any boyfriend I've ever had, if I stay out a little late at night and he says, hey, where you been? If I said, don't worry about it. If I said that, is he going to be like, oh, okay, yeah, sure, that's fine.
Right.
Hell to the no. So,
well, and let's be honest here. Well, so I'm of two minds here, right? Well, no, actually, I'm not, because you and I, we've been together for a long time.
We have,
right?
Like 500 years.
Yeah, and if I stayed out late at night, you wouldn't really worry, but also you would know what I'm doing, so it wouldn't really be an issue anyway, right? Like we communicate.
Well, here's the thing.
So,
I've never once said that this is a thing you have to do, and yet every night before you leave work, every night without fail, you 99% call, 1% text to let me know that you're on the way home.
Yeah.
And you let me know that because you work just far enough away that it gives me time to like finish up what I'm doing before you walk in the door or have dinner going or like whatever else.
Yeah.
Or do I need to stop anywhere and pick stuff up?
Right.
Or
that's more why I call, honestly.
Right.
I mean, and a courtesy also, but
no, I know. It's just from the beginning, you just have always done that.
Right.
And we just, I don't need to worry about it. I know where you are. So if you were staying out late, I would know, he's with his brother. He probably will stay out a little late.
Right.
Or, he's with a buddy that he hasn't seen in like 2 decades. He's definitely going to stay out late.
Right. Yeah.
Which,
but
both of
the point is that we communicate and let each other know what we were doing. So
Right. So if you just like stayed out late one night and like hadn't told me and just didn't answer, I mean, okay, for one thing, one time you didn't answer your mom's call. She tried to call you at work. This is so funny. She tried to call husband at work, right? And I guess that husband has his mom trained so that he's always just responded within 10 minutes. I didn't know that was a fucking option. So when one time he did not call her back within 10 minutes, she called me in an utter panic asking if she should call the police and have them go to the store. And I was like, what? Absolutely not. Are you insane? And like, it was just a misunderstanding because like I have called husband thousands of times and he doesn't answer and he might not get back to me in 10 minutes.
Right.
Well, I've worked a job. I know how it is when you're dealing with the public. You don't always have that opportunity.
Right.
So I just wasn't a big deal to me until I realized that somebody else reserved that option. But it turns out that it was just a coincidence. You weren't like necessarily like making an effort to call her, but not me back. It was just.
No, I know my mom kind of freaks out, so I usually just send her like, you know how you can do those quick texts where it says I'll call you later or something like that. I generally send one of those to her because I know if I don't, she kind of like
try to send the police.
You're right, yeah. So it's not like I don't actually answer. I'm just like, oh God, you know.
Well, the time that you didn't, she lost her fucking mind.
Right. Yeah.
So now you have to always do that. But that's the thing, though. Like, if you did not come home from work, if I had not received a call from you, I'd be like, okay, the place is closed.
Right.
And I haven't heard from you yet. You've been known to stay an hour after finishing up a deal or whatever. Yeah. But if it's past that and I still haven't heard from you, I'm calling you.
Well, yeah.
And then...
And I would expect you to call me.
Right. And that's not because I'm being dramatic or clingy or needy. That's because...
You're expected home.
You alive?
Did something happen? Is everything okay?
Are you somewhere on 75 and your phone is dead and you forgot to, like, text me or something before you left?
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I just feel like that song doesn't hit right. It doesn't get it.
Right.
You know? I reserve the right to always know where my partner is and for my partner to always know where I am. And for us to respectfully leave each other alone, but also to check in.
Yeah.
Like there's just this balance. And if you ain't got it, you ain't got it.
Right, right.
So anyway, Ephraim's glory will fly like a bird. Fly like a man. I want to fly away. Ephraim don't know where his home is. Ephraim don't know where his soul is.
I'm just letting wife just go where she's going with this one because I just don't even know.
Okay, well, Ephraim's glory will fly away like a bird.
I was thinking fly like an eagle.
You know? Oh, fly like an eagle.
Yeah, that's where I thought you were going with it, but then it turned into something else, and I was like, what?
Right? Into the future?
Yeah.
Okay. So, no birth, no pregnancy, no conception. Oh, dang.
Oh, wait. So, they're going to stop...
They're gonna fuck and fuck and fuck, and
nothing's gonna happen.
This is your time. If all you want to do is fuck, but you don't want babies, and you're out of birth control.
It's supposed to be a bad thing, right?
Yeah, it's a bad thing because they
won't have kids.
Yeah, they wanted kids and lots of kids. It was very important to them.
Yeah.
So a lot of times they were turning to these idols for fertility, right? And so God's like, oh, okay.
I'll make you not have kids.
Yeah.
Right.
You wanted fertility? I'm going to take that shit away from you. So not only are you not going to be extra fertile, you're going to be less than fertile.
I bet that didn't work out so well. I bet some of those people still had kids.
I don't know.
I'm just guessing here.
Probably.
You know?
I mean, one would think.
Right.
Maybe there was fewer. I mean, like right now, like millennials and younger, they are having fewer kids than generations before them.
Sure.
But that's a different phenomenon.
Well, here's the thing, right? During hard times, people tend to not have kids as much, right?
Right.
So if God was already, not letting the wine grow or the grapes grow, for the wine, and things were hard or something, people would probably stop having as many kids, right?
Well, famine and disease is going to make people not want to fuck.
Right, yeah.
Regardless of whether kids are on the table,
Sure, yeah.
So, I don't know. Even if they rear children, I will bereave them of every one. Hold on, what? You're taking their kids away? Is that what I'm to understand?
Killing kids now to punish the Okay.
Always with the kid
That's
killing.
a really shitty thing for God to do.
I love it when God kills kids. Fucking kid killer God. That Yahweh, he's a real kid killer.
That's actually a very horrible statement, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because if you have a child and God forbid you lose that child, right?
Yeah.
If you are religious, it could be construed that God took that child away from you for something you did.
Or one of your ancestors.
Right. And that is just a horrible thing.
So let me read that again.
How do you take this horrible event and just and turn it on the person as it's their fault, right?
That's what
awful.
People say. God has a plan, meaning it might be your fault.
Right, but God's plan includes killing kids to punish the parents.
Yeah, but you're just a stupid worm human. You don't know.
That's fucked up.
The ineffable plan is just so big, your mind can't grasp it.
Oh, I grasp murder pretty well. It's not cool, man.
I'm sorry, but it's for the greater good. You can't know.
It's just not.
You can't know. It's the trolley problem.
No, this is a God problem.
Yeah, so let's just read verse 12 again.
Yeah.
Even if they rear children, I will bereave them of every one. Woe to them when I turn away from them. When you piss me the fuck off and I turn away, I will kill all your children.
Right.
That's what that petty fuck just did.
Yeah.
Speaking of dramatic, clingy, needy, and overly emotional, like what we were just saying that women are from that song,
you
know?
Right.
No, that God is all of those.
Yeah, that's absolutely
gross.
Just messed up.
I have seen Ephraim like Tyre planted in a pleasant place, but Ephraim will bring out their children to the slayer. Give them, Lord, what will you give them? Give them wombs that miscarry and breasts that are dry.
Jesus.
Because of all their wickedness in Gilgal, I hated them there.
Whoa, God hates people?
I think this is a dude saying this. I think this is Josiah.
What?
Josiah is saying...
Why is Josiah anything in this chapter? This is Hosea.
That's what I said.
No, it's not.
I know. But let's pretend that's what I said.
But Hosea is supposed to be speaking for God, though, right?
Yeah, but that previous, like, verse 12 and 13, I believe that's in side quotation marks, so I think that was God. But now this is Hosehead talking.
Well, it's very convoluted at the very least, and based on the fact that he's killing people's children to get back at them, him hating them would be, believable in my mind as well. So
I just honestly I can't
fucking
tell.
knows, right?
I can't tell because a lot of these
ultimately it doesn't matter because God's not real,
right?
But when we're talking about reading the Bible and responding to people about what is in the Bible, it matters a little bit, but not too much when we're already talking about God killing children. So
it's true.
That's just semantics at that point,
right?
Like, you killed children, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if this is God or Hosehead talking, but like you said, it doesn't matter. Because of all their wickedness in Gilgal, I hated them there. Because of their sinful deeds, I will drive them out of my house.
This is God talking.
I will no longer love them. All their leaders are rebellious. Jazz hands.
Wife did jazz hand.
Hand singular. Yeah. Ephraim is blighted. Their root is withered. They yield no fruit. Even if they bear children, I will slay their cherished offspring. Whee!
There we go, killing children again.
I love killing children. Yeah. Dead babies is so fun. Right?
No, not at all. No.
We don't eat babies?
No, we don't kill babies.
I thought that's what atheists are renowned for. It almost seems like maybe the Israelites did that because they wrote about it so fucking much.
Right? Yeah.
They, love talking about, hey, let's kill children.
I think that they just hated anybody that wasn't like them. They were very xenophobic.
Yeah.
They did not like other cultures. Mm-hmm. They only liked their own people, right?
And even at that, they didn't like all their own people.
Right. And to be perfectly honest, the way that they talk through their God, through the Bible, through these words, right? Mm-hmm. It seems like they're more hateful than some of the other cultures that conquered them at some point.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, they are not good people.
No, they were just like all of the other nasty cultures that we learn about, like some South American cultures that they threw their children on the fire at the top of the fucking pyramid, and I forget whatever. All those fucking
places, things, cultures.
Yeah. they seem as bad as those.
Right.
Is all I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
All these.
I mean, they didn't sacrifice children, but they would kill them if they turned away from God.
Yeah.
So.
I mean.
That's bad. That's not good.
And apparently sometimes they did when they turned away from Yahweh and they turned to these other gods, they did kill children.
I mean, they're saying God did it, but, if, whatever. It
depends.
They were at least okay with children dying for their God, at the very least.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
My God will reject them because they have not obeyed him. They will be wanderers among the nations.
There we go, spreading them out and moving them along.
The end.
Oh my! Wow!
What? That was a treat.
That was quite the performance.
That was a treat, and you fucking know it. You know what? You're welcome. That's what.
Yeah. I couldn't. Yeah. You mentioned it earlier, but I couldn't help but think of Moana when you said that.
Moana.
You're welcome. Whatever. That bit. Yeah. I'm not doing it any justice there.
No,
so.
That was the best part of the whole movie.
Right.
The You're Welcome song.
That's a pretty good song. Yeah.
I fucking laugh every time I hear it, and every time I think of what's his name, The Rock, singing it.
Yeah. Dwayne The Rock Johnson. I guess he doesn't even use The Rock anymore.
No,
it's just Dwayne Johnson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I've heard he leans right wing. Like, okay, what I've heard most is that he tries to stay unpolitical because it's the smarter business move.
Right.
But that when he has spoken up every once in a while, that he leans right wing.
I see.
And that makes sense because he's a rich fuck and a wrestler.
There's a lot of rich people that aren't, right wing. But it really depends on what his right wing means.
He's a fiscal Republican.
If he's a fiscal
he wants
Republican,
to keep all of his riches and not let any of the poor have the money.
And that's the lesser of the evils at this point. So
they're all. I don't believe in degrees of evil, quite honestly.
I do to a certain extent. I mean, murder to me is definitely worse than
I hear you, but when we're talking about a fiscal Republican, they laid the path for people like Trump when they are so they're just so like, I have to keep all of me millions and I can't share them. I have to hoard the wealth. No, the poors cannot have free lunch. What the fuckest art thou thinking? Like, I'm sorry, but when you start like having to hoard your money that way.
But again, I want to distinguish the difference between people who actively took those policies and used social reasonings to implement policies through the Republican Party and change everything versus a person who's just part of the Republican Party and votes Republican because of fiscal reasons. There's a big difference between the Koch brothers and somebody who just votes Republican for fiscal reasons.
Just want to barf. That's all over the whole thing, though. But if you could still call yourself, I'm just a Republican, but only a fiscal one. If you can even a little bit with a straight face say that you're a Republican right now, I just can't with you. I
don't have a problem with it as long as they're not voting for Trump.
I do.
Because I don't see how you can call yourself anything that is reasonable and vote for Trump.
I'm sorry, because you are saying that people like Liz Cheney should get a pass. And I'm like, no, absolutely not.
We were discussing fiscal Republicans. I was not discussing social Republicans and people that have issues and that want to implement laws that are based on Christian values into our government. I have serious issues with that. That's not what I'm discussing. I'm discussing the people who are mostly part of things like the Lincoln Project right now, who used to be Republicans and now are not because of where the Republican Party has gone, right?
They're not democratic, but they are pro-democracy.
Right. I'm talking about people that are rational thinkers and don't want our country to fall apart due to a theocracy. That's what I'm talking about. Those are the people that I can have a rational discussion with. I
hear what you're saying. I just can't help but feel like that kind of thinking where it's money first, everything else later, the fiscal Republican,
but that you can have a conversation with that person that is not based on emotion as much so as with social policies.
I agree with you, but I still feel like that kind of way of thinking about policies is still what helped pave the road for somebody like Trump to eventually come down the pipe.
It absolutely did in our current government, in this current world that we live in, and the way things worked out. That is exactly what happened.
So that's why I hate fiscal Republicans as much as any other kind of Republican.
But it wasn't fiscal Republicans that caused this. It was the social issues that caused this, that they put into this system to create the base that would vote for them to do these things.
I hear you, but I disagree with you. And that's okay.
All right.
Because I like to sing.
Yeah, you do. And you did.
And I did.
Yeah.
And I gave you a jazz hand.
You gave me a jazz hand. So that was very important.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that was Hosea chapter 9.
Hosea chapter 9, indeed it was.
And probably, I don't know when exactly this is going to go out, but we're going to have like chapter 9, chapter 10, and the Q&A coming
Saturday,
out. Coming out all before
Saturday.
Right. It'll be on Sunday. Mm-hmm. But all this will be coming out before Monday.
Right.
So, and then we'll be back on track for Monday, because we plan on doing Hosea chapter 11 on Monday.
Yeah.
So I know that's not the normal way we end the episode, but we have a lot of things kind of working here between right now and the end of this weekend. So
and we're just trying to get back on track for you guys.
Right. All right. Well, thank you everybody for being patient with us, and I hope you enjoyed this musical version of Hosea. And we'll be back shortly with another episode.
All right.
Bye.
Bye. Husband.
Wife.
Do you know where we are and how the hell we got here?
I do, because we just recorded Hosea chapter 9. It was a bit of a impromptu special episode, because
it kind of was.
You kind of sang.
I didn't just kind of sing.
You sang a lot.
I sang a lot.
Yeah.
I also ranted a lot. It was a little manic.
I think, yeah. And we're recording this the same night, so this might have some similar... I don't think we're going to sing again, maybe.
Probably not.
Because, that's just too many singing episodes in one go.
Right. But I am going to say that I might rant more. I feel like I've been pent up, and now I'm set free.
Yeah. No, I can tell.
Yeah.
It's you've even between our episodes, you were ranting at me the entire time.
I was talking to you about AI and stuff.
Yeah, and all kinds of other things.
Yeah.
So there was that. So we just got done reading Hosea chapter 8.
No,
9. 9. I'm so sorry.
Hosea chapter 9.
Hosea chapter 9. Mm-hmm. And once again, we talked about Israel's idolatry and unfaithfulness, and God's going to give them consequences, and they're going to have they're not going to be able to have kids if they go to the fertility gods, and God's going to be angry and kill their kids and reject them and kill their kids some more, because that's what God does, apparently, is kill kids.
Love it. As
punishment for worshiping other gods.
Right.
So
I love an old Israelite story about Yahweh killing babies, and then for Christian people today to tell me that Israelites eat babies.
Yeah.
I'm like, you are backwards.
So I generally bring up a summary that I have Google write for me about what the last chapter was about, just to prompt my memory.
Yeah.
And I want to share this bit, because I just want to share this bit.
Okay.
So it says about Hosea chapter 9, it says in one part of this summary, it says, while the chapter portrays God's anger, it also hints at his deep love and desire for his people to repent and return to him.
Does it?
I don't really consider child murder as love in any stretch of the imagination.
Deep or otherwise.
Right.
And I don't think that's hinted.
Right.
It spelled out child murder, but it did hint at God's love.
I understand Google wants to walk the line with, regard to Christianity and how it is such a prominent force in our society. Mm-hmm. But I feel like child murder kind of crosses the line between love and hate and stays on the hate side there.
And let's not lie. Just don't say anything.
And to be fair on that account, it did actually not give me a summary on the first try. I had to go to one of the drafts in order to find it.
It was like, do I have to? This one talks about child murder.
Their AI thing that I use, just like I said, just use it as like a prompting thing. But it walks a line with regard to politics and religion. You have to be you have to word things carefully sometimes. But even with the wording carefully, I just asked for a summary of the last chapter. It had some trouble with that. So
interesting.
See how that goes in the future. I could find summaries out there other places. It's just an easy thing to type in before the podcast,
Right.
So it's nice to have.
Right.
But I thought that was interesting. The love is just not there for me.
No,
I don't
me
see
neither.
that as being a thing.
No, you can't justify that.
No.
I don't care. You can try, but I'm not going to hear you.
Right.
Because even the trying, like, really? You want me to give you a fair listen while you attempt to justify child death to me?
Not child death.
Child murder.
Yes. Thank you.
I'm going to not listen to you. And you can talk till you're blue in the motherfucking face.
Right.
How about that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. So anyway, that was Hosea chapter 9.
It sure as fuck was.
Which means that today we're reading
Hosea chapter 10, or as I like to call him, Hosehead.
All right, let's do this.
Okie dokie. All right, hopping into Hosea chapter 10, or as I like to call the dude, Hosehead.
Right.
Because he sure as fuck is. Ain't he?
We could say it's Hosea because that's the more legitimate reason, but he is just saying the words of God according to the Bible.
Right.
So
that would make God
God's
the
hosehead. Yeah. Right.
Well, I mean, they're all kind of hoseheads,
Sure.
aren't they?
Yeah.
So Israel was a spreading vine. Okay.
Yeah.
He brought forth fruit for himself.
Okay.
As his fruit increased, he built more altars. As his land prospered, he adorned his sacred stones.
Kind of how things go,
It's interesting that we're referring to Israel as a he instead of a she.
Right, because oftentimes they refer to it as she.
She.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
And
that's
then they even
weird.
talk about God marrying Israel and stuff like that. So
Their heart is deceitful, and now they must bear their guilt. The Lord will demolish their altars
there's the love.
and destroy their sacred stones.
How loving.
Boom, crash, pow. Then they will say, we have no king because we did not revere the Lord. Woo-hoo! But even if we had a king, what could he do for us?
I don't know.
I was being Mickey Mouse just then. They make many promises, take false oaths, and make agreements. Therefore, lawsuits spring up like poisonous weeds in a plowed field.
We have God
Fucking
talking about
lawsuit.
lawsuits.
Yeah.
Okay.
God cares about courts.
Apparently.
And not the heavenly ones.
That's so fucking weird.
Right? It's so obvious that this is man-made.
Yeah, no,
Like, what the fuck?
That's the part that I can't get over is that,
I can't pretend with you.
We have to pretend because people believe that this God is like a real thing, right? Mm-hmm. But reading through this, there's so many points. There's so many things that just pop up randomly.
Yeah.
It's like, can't you see
Right.
that's
Right.
not real. This isn't real, guys.
I have to say something. I was talking to a friend online who was kind of surprised when I said, yeah, we've been reading the Bible, blah, 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 because we're doing it, for this podcast that we run. And he was like, oh, so how long have you been doing this? And I told him, over 4 years. And he was like, well, how many times have you been through? And I was like, no, we're still on our first time and we're only at Hosea.
Yeah.
And he was like, you have taken 4 years to get that far? And I was like, motherfucker, we read at least 3 to 5 chapters every week.
Yeah.
And yes, it has taken us 4 years because there's a lot of motherfucking chapters.
Yeah.
I'm like, have you read it? And he's like, yes, multiple times. And
No.
right?
No.
Now, he's not a Christian, so
Okay.
I tend to believe that he has ripped through it.
Okay.
But I don't know if I believe that he's read it and multiple times and not taken years to do it.
Right. Right. Yeah, I question that a little bit.
I'm just like, how the fuck?
Yeah.
How are you doing this in less than even a year?
Right.
That's
it's a monumental task. It's a large task to read the Bible, regardless of I know we spend an inordinate amount of time per chapter, right?
Sure.
Because we discuss it, we talk about it, whatever, right?
Right.
And I appreciate that. I like that we spend the time on those chapters and that we talk about them, right?
Agreed.
But even if you were ripping through it, I don't think I would have the ability to force myself to read enough of that every night to get it through it in a reasonable amount. It would take at least a year.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And that's ripping through it, I feel like.
Yeah.
And this is a lot of shit, you know?
I gave us 3 to 5 chapters per week because in an ideal week, we read a chapter every night, Monday through Friday.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
But I know that some weeks we don't always get that other one, or
Sure.
sometimes we skip a week or two. So that's why I said, on average, 3
Yeah.
to 5 episodes per week.
Sounds good.
You
Yeah,
know? Or
right.
3 to 5 chapters per week.
Yeah.
So I was just like, we've been plugging away at this for 4 years, and in this guy's mind, it's nothing.
Right.
And I'm just like,
I don't know how much I don't know. Whatever. I think people like to, it's like the fishtail, right? Like it was this big, but no, it's this big now.
Right.
Right. So you may have read the Bible. You may have even read it twice, but I bet it took longer than you're kind of admitting right here in this conversation.
and maybe even longer than you remember.
Right.
You know?
I just, if you're reading a book that's riveting and it's a long, big book, I can see blasting through it, right? Because you get sucked in, you're reading it more than you should. You're like, I'm going to finish this shit, right?
Yeah.
But you pick up the Bible, there is nothing in there that's propelling you forward and being like, oh, I got to find out what happened. No, God killed people. That's what happened. And he hates people. And then he needs them to worship him and bow to him. And then he'll love you. And that's basically
sometimes
it.
there's rules, lots of rules,
Yeah,
so many rules.
there's lots of rules.
Yeah.
And there's people that had other people.
Yeah.
And then they had other people.
They begat
and
it and
there was a lot of
begatted.
other people.
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know why we got off on that topic, but
Right,
it just, like, bothered me. Like, how dare?
Yeah, right.
Like, we're not doing nothing here,
I know that they didn't have as much fun as we do.
Okay, well, I will give you that. That's a fact. That is a fact. Yeah. All right. To carry on, the people who live in Samaria fear for the calf idol of Beth-aven. Its people will mourn over it, and so will its idolatrous priests, those who had rejoiced over its splendor, because it is taken from them into exile.
Okay. All right.
It will be carried to Assyria as tribute for the great king. Ephraim will be disgraced. Israel will be ashamed of its foreign alliances. Samaria's king will be destroyed, swept away like a twig on the surface of the waters. This is all like
so they're like reveling in the fact that their northern people neighbors are getting fucked over, and that their golden calf is being taken as tribute to their king, the king that conquered them in Assyria.
I think so.
That's kind of shitty.
Yeah.
You know?
It's not very nice.
Right.
It's not very Christian,
really,
like.
you know, we've talked about this before. The golden calf, that whole thing, that was part of what northern Israel was worshiping, was actually Yahweh. It's just a different
method of worship.
Right. Yeah. So while they were different tribes and they were different ways of worshiping the same God, and I understand the argument, right? Like there's arguments within the U.S. between different sects, Catholicism and
versus
Protestants, right?
Yeah.
There's arguments all over the place. Sorry, but I don't get reveling in their downfall, right? Like
right.
You got to have empathy for these are people that you used to consider part of your own tribe, right?
You guys believe in the same fucking God, even if you don't worship him the same way.
I don't think that they really, like, the way this is written, it feels like they tried to distance themselves from saying it's the same God.
Right.
Right? They mention the golden calf all the time. They don't mention that they worshipped a similar God.
Right. That's
right?
true.
So they definitely try to distinguish and separate themselves out from this God.
Yeah.
So I feel like it was a large division, and that's why, they're no longer on speaking terms or nice to each other.
That's true. That's true. I guess that applies more today when we're talking about Catholics and Protestants and Jews and Muslims. Like,
right.
You guys all literally worship the same God.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah, they all sprung from, they're all Abrahamic religions.
And yet some of you are more golden calf and others of you are more like mystical, magical Easter eggs.
Right, but if you walk out on the street and ask the average Christian about, Islam, right? Mm-hmm. They're not going to, they don't probably know, most of them, that is the same God that they worship.
Right.
It springs from the same religion, springs from the same origins, right? They just believe in different prophet stories and different stories along the way that end up with, a split narrative.
Sure.
And but they don't know. They don't know this.
Right.
They don't understand this, and they hate those people so much.
Right.
That they can't. You probably couldn't even convince them of that.
Right.
You know. Or if you did, they'd be like, well, you know, and they'd be
but it doesn't count.
But no, they're all Abrahamic religions. They all sprung from the same place. And, you know, we're fighting over details.
Right.
You know, details is what we're fighting over.
No, what we're really fighting over, let's be honest, is land and resources.
Yeah. And political structures and, you know, the whole, that's all still part of it today, as it was back then. And we talk about that very often reading through the Bible, that these are more political maneuvers than they are actual God worshiping.
It's just, instead of saying, I want this land, gimme, they say, God wants me to have this land, gimme.
Right. It's a convenient way of not, you know, owning the shittiness that you're doing.
Yeah, it's putting a third party, an uninvolved third party.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the person at the cash register that says, I don't know, man, I just work here. I'm not the manager. I don't set the prices.
Right.
Don't be mad at me.
Yeah.
Like, it's that guy.
Yep.
All right. The high places of wickedness will be destroyed. It is the sin of Israel. Thorns and thistles will grow up and cover their altars again.
This guy really likes thorns and thistles, huh?
I do like thorns and thistles. Last time it was briars. Thorns and briars.
Oh, okay.
This time it's thorns and thistles.
I got a story about thorns.
Do you?
Yeah. So I've talked about being in Scouts before.
You have,
and,
many times.
Yeah. But when I was in Scouts, there was this special thing that you could get voted into, and it was called the Order of the Arrow.
Okay.
And I don't think I'm really even technically supposed to talk about this, but I'm going to.
Goodness. Okay.
So yeah, I'm going to. So the Order of the Arrow is this your tribe, your
tribe?
No, not tribe. The what do we call them? It was the troop. Your troop.
Which is your tribe.
Yeah. Every year at summer camp, we would hold a vote, and, you know, depending on the size of your troop, one or two people would get into the Order of the Arrow. And it was more of like a leadership, you know, type program that they had for Scouts.
Okay.
And when you got voted into this, there was this whole ceremony where you get inducted, and then you have to come back for a special camp for this Order of the Arrow.
Okay.
Okay. And as part of this camp, you have to take a vow of silence. You are not allowed to speak the entire week that you're there for this camp.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. Yeah. And they feed you very minimal food. Like, you get like very, very small meals, and you don't get a tent. You sleep out under the stars, unless, of course, it starts raining, then they would move you under a shelter. But
this sounds like so ooey-oo religious, spiritual.
I mean, yeah, there is that aspect to it. I mean, Order of the Arrow, come on, it kind of it denotes kind of what it is. They're angling toward a Native American aspect of what they were trying to do, I think.
Somewhere between a Jesus-y guy and a Native American.
Which is very interesting how Scouts kind of mixed that whole Native American and God into this one little pot, you know,
tribe. Yeah, that is interesting.
But so this gets me to the part of my story where, okay, we were working on this dam that was at this
we who
the all the people that were out for this camp
so
for the Order of the Arrow.
You were one of the.
I was one of the people that was there. Yes.
Oh my goodness, you were an Order of the Arrow guy.
I was.
Wow.
Yeah. So we were working on a dam, and we were clearing brush away from it, and just
silently.
Silently, right? And we were walking along the edge of the dam, and there was kind of like a large drop off on the side, but there was a bunch of thorns, like these giant thorns, like they were like about an inch to an inch and a half long, in this big briar bush that was like right there on the side of the dam. Well, one of the people that was with us lost his footing and fell into that thorn patch.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And so there was the briefest moment where the other guys that were with me, we kind of looked at each other like, what do we do?
We're not supposed to say anything.
Yeah.
But...
And then and then we just kind of shrugged and then we turned help!
Spirituality be damned. Our friend just got stabbed.
But you know that pause, right?
Yeah.
Like we paused because of tradition, because of
the seriousness of what you were about to do.
Right.
It obviously had become very important.
But no, it's a great example of how a tradition or a ritual can cause you to do
the wrong thing or cause you to hesitate to do the wrong thing.
Or hesitate to
Right?
do the right thing.
Yeah, that's what I meant to say. I'm sorry. But yeah, it was when you said thorns, it reminded me of that story. And it's a funny story because everything was okay, right? Everybody ended up okay. Everything was good.
Okay, that's good to know.
I mean, the kid was hurt, but
Right.
like not mortally wounded or anything, right?
Good.
So
like didn't lose an eye or
no. Yeah, but it makes you like
that
even
was just
me,
for
even me, a lifelong non-believer / atheist, right?
Right.
I got caught up in ritual. I got caught up in tradition.
Yeah.
I got caught up in this thing instead of just immediately jumping to fuck this shit.
Yeah.
I need this kid's help, so I'm going to yell.
Yeah.
We turned to each other first before we started yelling for
To
help.
make sure, wait, is it?
Should we? Do we do this?
Yeah.
You know, I that's crazy. That's crazy. the immediate answer is fucking help us.
Right.
You know, tradition be damned, ritual be damned.
Like it should be, well, I guess I'm kicked out, but I'm okay with that because help.
Right. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like I get what you're saying. I really appreciate that you can look back on that and like understand that about yourself. Like look inward and be like, holy shit, even I was caught up in that.
Yeah.
Which means that anybody can.
Right. And I had the luxury. I had the luxury of not growing up with indoctrination. I was not indoctrinated into religion.
Right.
And many people are. You know, a lot of people are.
Yeah.
So, and I'm going to say it's a luxury because I hear the stories from people, and a lot of times they're very tragic with regard to how their families will disown them, or, you know, there's all kinds of just sad scenarios that revolve around this whole Christian indoctrination thing that happens in the U.S.
Right.
Or other religions. I mean, we specifically talk about Christianity because we're reading the Bible all the way through the New Testament, right?
Because that's what's currently impacting our political.
But religion in general.
Yeah.
It applies. And it strikes me that no one is really immune. You just don't understand in the moment what you're being controlled by. You have to, but that's why it's good to be a free thinker. That's why it's good to question.
Yeah.
Because even you right now, you don't always know what is controlling your thoughts. It could be the newest social media feeds. It could be the TV channel you're watching. It could be all kinds of things.
It could be something as stupid as when you and I went to a friend's house and we were all drinking.
Yeah.
And there was a guy who was very clearly too inebriated to drive. And everybody was like, dude, are you okay? And he was like, yeah, I'm fine. And he was trying to leave to drive. And everybody was like, are you sure? And then once he like insisted, everybody just kind of let it go. And I was like, oh, so we're just letting him go, huh? And like suddenly I was the problem. And everybody was like, you know, he said he's okay. What can we do? And I'm like, I don't know. Take his fucking keys.
Yeah.
Go out, take a picture of his license plate. I don't know. Block the car door and don't let him in. Like, there's any number of things. Call the cops. Call him a cab.
Yeah.
I don't know. But like, it was like, I am very likely autistic.
Sure.
So it doesn't make sense to me the peer
social construct.
Yeah, the social pressure to fit in and the that whatever it is, like I don't have that. And usually that's problematic because I don't fit in and I don't know how.
This is something I've had to adjust to with being married to you because I am very much guarded in my behavior with regard to the norms of society.
Yes.
You are much less so.
But not because I'm like awesome or anything. Like it's not like
it's just your natural response to a shitty thing happening.
Yeah.
And it's taught me a lot about myself. Like being with you has taught me a lot about myself because I am able to judge things differently than I might have 20 years ago.
Right.
You know? And I think vice versa, right?
Oh, definitely.
Like we've learned things off of each other and, you know, we have kind of codes to signal things for each other when we're in situations where we know that the other one lacks the ability to react to that situation properly.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And we both recognize where we have shortcomings and we are, you know, like it's a great back and forth. And I think that's part of what allows us to have great discussions about societal norms and societal things that are going on because we have two completely different takes on how to handle and react to those situations.
Yes,
you know?
definitely.
And we've learned to get along wonderfully as a couple. So we have great interactions with regard to it because of that dynamic that we have between us and our takes on those issues.
I think it's a really great example of opposites attract, but they only attract if you're both willing to work on yourself and work with the opposing factor.
Yeah.
Like, it's not just opposites attract the end. Opposites attract, and you can make it work, but you have to make it work.
Yeah.
And it is work.
Definitely.
But yeah, I'll just never forget, like, that was one of the earliest examples of you kind of looking at me with the rest of the crowd going, like, you need to.
Well, but now I agree with you.
Yeah.
Right?
No, you agreed with me at the time, even, but you didn't understand how I could stick out from the crowd that way.
Because in that moment, it felt like a friend loser moment, right?
Right.
Like that was the level of disdain that was happening with regard to you standing up for that moment, right?
Yeah.
And I wasn't sure that you understood the level of what you were doing at the moment.
Well, and also, to be fair, these were my friends, so you were already somewhat out of place.
Right.
Because you were with me at my friend's house.
Right.
And I was your only real connection there.
To be fair here, the people that were getting ready to drive drunk were not your friends.
Correct.
It was
correct.
They were at the house of the friend that you were friends with.
Yeah. But even the people whose house we were at, she was like, he's a grown-ass man. He made his choice. And I'm like, but, my thinking was, I have an adult child out there on the roads that this person could run into.
Yeah.
Like, literally, that was all I could think was, but you guys are setting this bullet loose and he could hit somebody that I love.
Right.
And you guys are okay with that. And I couldn't convey that. So all I could say is, you guys are all younger than me. One day you'll have kids and you'll understand. And they thought that I gave a shit about the guy.
Right.
And I was like, oh no, his life is already null and void to me.
Yeah.
And they were like, that's mean. Like, the dude was like, oh, that's real nice of you. And I was like, you already don't give a fuck that you're drunk.
Right.
And
you've already decided that everybody else's life on the road is null and void. So I don't give a fuck if you live or die, honestly, at this point. I don't know you. You've decided to do something dangerous that puts people in danger. That is, fuck you. Right.
Die. Don't die. Whatever.
Right. But don't go on the road.
Yeah. And don't take other people. I hope you hit a brick wall and don't take anybody with you.
Right.
Yeah. Sorry. Not sorry.
Yep.
So, anyway, that was me just being manic again. Sorry.
No. You're fine. You're fine. I signaled to rein you in here a little bit. So
I'm still really excited about having my hand free.
You are.
I'm sorry. All right. So thorns and thistles. Okay. They're going to grow up over those altars.
Okay. Yeah.
And poke people in the eye.
Right. Yeah. When they're working on dams.
Yeah. And they're going to make them break their code of silence.
Right.
Then they will say to the mountains, cover us. And to the hills, fall on us.
Really? That's what they're talking now, huh?
That's what they say to the mountains and the hills.
The thorns. Okay. I guess.
I thought it was the people. Will say that. Thorns and thistles will grow up and cover the altars. Then they will say to the mountains. Oh, no, you're right.
Yeah. We have talking thorns and thistles now.
I mean, if you're going to have thorns and thistles, they might as well be talkative.
Right. Yeah.
I guess.
That would be a great name for a bar. Thorns and Thistles.
Thorns and Thistles.
Right. In the context of they can talk to mountains and everything else,
Okay.
Social,
Okay.
they're social thorns and thistles.
Yeah, actually.
Yeah, so,
okay.
Just saying.
But what about the briars? I really love the briars.
I mean, you could put that one like in parentheses below it or something, the briars or something. I don't know.
Thorns, thistles.
Or maybe that could be like a drink, briars.
The
like,
briar patch.
I don't know. Yeah, the briar
patch. Maybe the restroom area is called the briar patch.
I
like that. Yeah. The non-gendered bathrooms.
Right.
Yeah. This is the briar patch.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Sounds good.
Yeah. Okay. Since the days of Gibeah, you have sinned, Israel, and there you have remained.
That damn Gibeah. I still don't get it.
I know,
but okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Will not war again overtake the evildoers in Gibeah?
Probably. Maybe.
Will it not?
Possibly.
Probably.
He thinks it will, apparently.
War's gonna war.
If this is God talking, doesn't he know already?
I would think.
But, okay.
But I think it's Hosehead.
Who would know?
Who would know? I wouldn't.
But Hosea hypothetically has information from God.
Right.
So God.
And you're right. He is speaking for God because it says, when I please, I will punish them.
Yeah. See, God is asking a question as to whether this is going to happen. He apparently doesn't know, but he knows.
What do you think? What do you think? Yeah, so when I please, I will punish them. Nations will be gathered against them to put them in bonds for their double sin.
Okay.
Ephraim is a trained heifer that loves to thresh. I'm such a fucking child.
I mean, it's the golden calf, or whatever.
But sometimes when I hate somebody, I call them a heifer.
Oh my gosh.
And whether not as a remark on their weight, I've called skinny people heifers.
Yeah.
Just, people that I don't like.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, such a heifer. But your mom sometimes calls people hags.
She does.
Which I have never heard used before, and I fucking love it. Oh, she's such a hag. And hag is better than heifer, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
And both are better than childless Catwoman.
Sure, yeah.
Are you not familiar with that one?
I know that's a thing in the social media, but we don't need to...
Elon Musk.
Okay, Elon Musk. Got
no, actually it was J.D. Vance. Sorry.
Okay.
J.D. Vance said that childless Catwomen are the ones who are a drain on society, and they're trying to make laws, even though they have no say, because they're just childless cat ladies.
Then we're supposed to be shocked that the Republicans said something sexist? Or
No, we're not. I was just explaining the reference to you.
Right. No, I got it.
And so when Taylor Swift endorsed Kamala Harris, she signed her endorsement.
Childless cat lady?
Yep.
Yeah.
Which I loved.
Yeah. No, that's great.
Yep. Ephraim is a trained heifer that loves to thresh, so I will put a yoke on her fair neck. As you do.
Okay.
I will drive Ephraim, Judah must plow, and Jacob must break up the ground. Jacob would be Israel.
I don't really know what to think of that statement there. It sounds like they're saying that, I don't know.
Okay, God, will drive Ephraim.
Yeah.
So she's the fucking heifer.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
So I'm driving that heifer and I'm saying, go, heifer.
Yeah.
And Judah is plowing. So Judah's the one coming behind plowing.
They're still okay with God, sort of.
And Jacob is breaking up the ground.
But Jacob is Israel.
Israel, breaking up the ground.
Okay. I still don't, that's weird.
That's a Q&A we're going to need.
That's definitely a Q&A.
Yeah, okay.
Because that's odd.
Yeah, I don't really get that. I can see the picture. I just don't know what the picture is supposed to represent.
Jacob would be Israel, which includes the northern tribes, actually, if we're going historically here.
Right.
So that's a weird juxtaposition of...
it's weird having Ephraim out there on its own and not part of Judah or Israel.
Well, it's not weird. They're part of the northern tribes.
Which is Judah. Right?
No.
Or no, which is Israel.
It was Israel until they split, and now it's a split kingdom.
Right.
But yes, it would have been part of Israel.
That's what I'm saying. It's weird that Ephraim is being called out on its own when we've got Israel and Judah.
Right.
When Ephraim was
They're chastising Ephraim is what's happening.
Well, yeah, I get that.
But yeah, I don't understand the whole dynamic there.
Yeah, I need a better picture.
Right.
Okay, so Q&A Saturday.
Yes.
We'll get on that.
Yes.
Okay. Sow righteousness for yourselves, reap the fruit of unfailing love, and break up your unplowed ground. For it is time to seek the Lord until he comes and showers his righteousness on you.
Jesus Christ.
He's going to come and he's going to shower.
You should have seen wife's face, just like...
When he comes and showers his righteousness on you. All over you. He showered it all over you. But you have planted wickedness. You have reaped evil. You have eaten the fruit of deception.
Yeah. Go figure. They were bad.
You're bad. I hate you.
Yeah.
Because you have depended on your own strength and on your many warriors, the roar of battle will rise against your people, so that all your fortresses will be devastated.
Oh, man.
As Shalman devastated Beth Arbel on the day of battle, when mothers were dashed to the ground with their
Oh
children.
my God.
Remember that day?
No.
It sucked.
Yeah.
So will it happen to you, Bethel, ya bitch, because your wickedness is fucking great.
They just, I can't get over how much they just like revel in this like
Murdery
hate
murder.
and murder. Yeah.
I love to murder women and their babies.
It's crazy.
Yep. When that day dawns, the king of Israel will be completely destroyed. The end.
Okay.
Fuck everything. The end.
There's just not a lot of like positive, feel good anything in this goddamn Bible.
It's supposed to be a book of love, but it's really just not.
Well, and people will be like, well, that's the New Testament. I'm like, yeah, okay. So, but like you tell us, hey,
read the Bible. Just read the Bible.
Right, it's in the Bible.
Yeah.
We're reading the Bible, and it's taken us a long fucking time
to get to the
goddamn love.
Well, here's the thing. Like, so when you're saying the good book, you're referring to the New Testament. Does that mean we're reading the bad book? Because that's what it feels like.
It definitely does. I think we should it should definitely be renamed the bad book. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh.
The Old Testament is the bad book,
It's
y'all.
fucking bad.
But here's the thing. Even in the good book, I heard that this one dude gets murdered.
He does.
Right?
And from what I hear. Yeah.
I mean, spoilers. We're not there yet.
But, word on the street is.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, that was Hosea chapter 10.
Yes, it was Hosea chapter 10.
And we will be back later today with
our Q&A, not on Saturday.
Right. And then I will get the weekly wrap up out today too. So there's going to be a fuck ton of episodes out today.
Yes.
And then we are going to reset and be back on
Monday with Hosea chapter 11.
All right. We'll see you then.
Bye.
Bye.
Husband.
Wife.
Guess what we're doing?
We are doing our
Q&A, not on Saturday.
Right.
Some day of the week.
Yes. So this will be releasing on Wednesday
morning.
Yeah. So we kind of got screwed up again, and we do apologize. I know we've been doing that a lot.
We have.
So I don't know what to say other than wife and I have been discussing some options as to what we are going to do going forward.
Rather than keep being behind, let's just go ahead and plan for it.
Right. And we'll be talking about some of those in the coming days. But in the meantime, we're going to kind of slow roll this week to end it. And there'll be a special episode. There'll be our weekly wrap up still coming out for this portion. But we'll get back to something resembling normal next week.
It'll just be a slightly slower pace.
Slightly.
Yeah, slightly.
One less episode. just to give us some buffer to work with some things.
Yeah.
And we'll explain it all on an upcoming special episode that we have coming out. So
it's just with your work schedule and my injury and medication.
Yeah.
We're not really jiving as far as what we can get
not
done.
with our schedule. Yeah.
Yeah.
Our schedule is definitely throwing us for a loop right now.
Yeah.
So anyway, we really enjoy doing this. We don't want to lose our steam with regard to
No, not at all.
doing our podcast. So we're trying to work around ourselves.
Yes.
And in that vein, we are ready today to do the Q&A. And you got some good questions and answers and things to go over?
Yeah, we're going to be covering chapters, Hosea chapters 6 through 10.
All right, let's do this.
Okie dokie. All right, so we are covering Hosea chapters 6 through 11.
10.
10. That's what I said. Sorry. 6 through 10.
Yeah.
Like, literally just said that. So
Right.
I don't know where the 11 came from.
Right.
And I'm going to go through each chapter and say a little something about it.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Let's do this.
So let's start with chapter 6.
Yeah.
Which was basically about the insincerity of Israel's repentance. If you'll recall, it was basically like they are paying lip service to God, the Israelites are.
Yeah.
And they may come to God, but it's
Right.
like half-ass.
Which seemed like pretty much every chapter we read, but okay.
Yeah,
all right.
yeah. This chapter contains prophecies, including an exhortation to repentance and a complaint against Israel and Judah for persisting in their wickedness still.
Yeah.
So the first part of that chapter continues the passage that started in the previous chapter, that started in the previous chapter.
Right.
Like mid-sentence even.
Yeah, this book has been bad for that.
Super weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that whole thing, that verse that was like basically cut in half, concerns the time of the Syrian Ephraimite War. So the Syrians and Ephraim.
Okay.
Okay. And that was about 735 to 733 BCE.
Is it the Syrians or Assyrians?
Syrians.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
So it's talking about the war and its aftermath. So basically we're starting at 735 and going through about 731 BCE. Okay.
Right. Yeah.
So I went ahead and put the last verse of chapter 5, since again we're starting mid-sentence.
Right.
And we're supposed to be covering chapter 6
Right.
here.
Right.
So the final verse, actually I started with one verse back even because it captured the idea. So anyway,
Right. Okay.
Chapter 5, verses 8 and 9. Sound the trumpet in Gibeah, the horn in Ramah. Raise the battle cry in Beth Avon. Lead on, Benjamin. Ephraim will be laid waste on the day of reckoning. Okay?
Yeah.
So whereas in chapter 5, Hosea states divine judgment on both Judah and Israel in their strife, like their on and off again wars,
Right.
such that God will send sickness unto death. Sickness unto death.
Got it.
And that's a phrase that we use today. I am sick unto death of this.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if
I
you've
think we've
heard
shortened
that.
it to sick to death.
Sick to death, yes, but I have heard people say, I am sick unto death of this.
Right. But I think the common is the sick to death, right? Like that would be that's what it's turned into.
Yeah, that's the common.
Right.
But yeah. So anyway, in verses 1 through 3 of chapter 6, God proclaims the hope of revival if the people are willing to accept his exhortation to repentance, which we know they do not.
Right.
Ever. So verse 1 says, "Come, let us return to the Lord. He has torn us to pieces, but he will heal us. He has injured us, but he will bind up our wounds." And then verse 2 says, "After 2 days he will revive us, and on the third day he will restore us, that we may live in his presence."
And we talked at the time how this sounded very Jesus-y.
It does. And that's because it was borrowed from, or...
You mean the New Testament borrowed from
yes,
this? Okay.
Yes.
I was going to say this was written too old to be borrowed from the New Testament. So
no. The New Testament, in trying to backfill prophecies, they were like, "Ooh, that's a good one. Let's put some Jesus in that."
Right.
Yeah. So, and that was acknowledged in some notes.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then verse 3, "Let us acknowledge the Lord. Let us press on to acknowledge him. As surely as the sun rises, he will appear."
And that too, even though it's the sun as in the sun.
S-O-N versus S-U-N.
Right.
Yeah, the sun in the sky versus the male child.
Interesting in our terminology today.
Yes.
And I don't know that it was relevant in the original language or anything like that. But it's interesting because of it's similar to the same verbiage you'll see on church signs now.
Yeah.
You know? They equate sun to sun.
The sun shines and the Lord reigns.
Right. Yeah.
Is the one that it comes to mind. There's a church on some road that I used to pass just every single time I would drive over to my best friend's house.
Yeah.
And every day it said that out front. They never changed the sign.
Right.
So that reminds me, in that movie, I want to say it was called Zeitgeist or something.
Oh yeah.
Which
right,
it's
questionable.
Very questionable conspiracy theory, all kinds of stuff. But one of our,
at the time it was fun.
Yeah.
Ish.
Like now it's like, oh.
Right.
Because all of that stuff kind of led straight into QAnon territory.
Yeah, and it was interesting, like there was the same ideas, like it had ideas about there were conspiracy theories about like money and gods, and then like 9/11. And
Yeah.
it was just like all kinds of. It was all over the place.
It was all over the place, and I would say that the first 2/3 of the movie were actually really interesting, fascinating. Just the way Christianity borrowed from prior religions and practices and stuff.
It
And
really lost us when it got to 9/11. But
yeah. Yeah, the last third of it was like, okay, I'm out.
Right. Yeah.
But the part that specifically reminded me of that movie is the comparison of the word sun, S-U-N versus S-O-N,
Right.
male child versus star in the sky. That was discussed heavily in that movie.
Did they discuss? I can't remember if they discussed the original language though.
I don't know.
Because that, again, it was a movie that was very conspiracy theory ridden. So
Yeah.
I don't recall if that was actually a thing or not.
I want to say that probably they did not get into the original
Right.
language, which would render those not homophones.
Yeah.
So, I'm going to go with no.
Right. Like I said, in today's context, it's interesting to me in that context.
Right. No, I
But
totally
that's about
agree.
it.
All right. And then it continues. He will come to us like the winter rains, like the spring rains that water the earth. Now, that is also in a different translation. It doesn't say the winter rains or the spring rains. It says he will come to us like the rain, like the latter and former rain. So 2 things. First of all, those 3 verses that I just read.
Yeah.
It has been suggested that it's a penitential prayer that may have been borrowed from an atonement ritual.
Okay.
So do you need me to reread those? Come, let us return to the Lord. He has torn us to pieces, but he will heal us. He has injured us, but he will bind up our wounds. After 2 days, he will revive us. And on the 3rd day, he will restore us that we may live in his presence. Let us acknowledge the Lord. Let us press on to acknowledge him. As surely as the sun rises, he will appear. He will come to us like the winter rains, like the spring rains that water the earth.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's a atonement ritual, apparently.
Got it.
Now, with the thing that I said was 2 different interpretations depending on what translation you're reading.
Yeah.
The latter and the former rain. In Israel, the only way crops were watered was by rain, of course.
Right.
And the first or the former was in the autumn to prepare the earth for seed. And the second rain or latter rain, which, like I said, the verse is like the latter and former rain.
Right.
In spring is when the latter one is to prepare the land for harvest.
Got it.
Okay.
Got it. Yeah.
So this section contains some oracles about Israel's political and religious corruption because Israel failed to live according to Yahweh's demand for steadfast love and knowledge of him.
I want to say this again, and I know I hit on this a lot, but the fact that it's even in the apologist takes that you're reading and things like that, the fact that they mention politics is part of that, right?
Yeah.
And it's just very obvious that these things that we talk about in the Bible are definitely things that are political. They're not because if we're talking about all the people of Israel, there's no way to talk about them all. We're talking about the political and power structures that are prevalent in that society at that time because there's nothing else that would really matter.
Exactly.
Right? You're not talking about Joe Schmo next door. You're talking about the people in charge of your lives.
Right.
And they're the ones that are responsible for making these ideas and these laws and rules and in which people don't like or don't follow correctly or don't whatever, right?
Yeah.
So we're really complaining about the power. We're complaining about who's in charge.
Right.
And that's partly what bothers me with regard to how the Bible is worded, because when we're talking about a God who supposedly knows everything, everybody, and how it's all going to work out, right? Mm-hmm. I have a problem with him punishing the people down line,
right,
when we're really talking about the people that are at the top.
Right.
Right. It's like in today's society, if we were to take the actions of the 1% and then punish everybody else for their actions.
Right.
Right. It's bullshit.
It is bullshit.
And I'm sure if God were real, we would all be like, what the fuck, man?
Yeah.
Like this is some crap.
Well, not only that, it's lazy.
Right.
It's tantamount to the teacher comes in, one or two kids are making noise, rather than A, finding out who it is, or B, I know who it is, but I don't want to call them out.
Right.
I'm going to take the lazy way and make the whole class write sentences.
Yeah.
So everybody across the board is punished.
Right.
And I fucking hate that shit.
Yeah.
I used to sit out in the hall so much because I would argue. But I wasn't talking, and I sit up front and you see me.
Well, and that's just it, right? I'm like, you're a god. If you can't punish people individually, right? You're no god that's worth a damn.
Exactly.
You're fucking worthless.
Yeah.
And therefore pointless. And you and I know / believe whatever that God is not real, right? And for all intents and purposes, God isn't real. There is no proof. There is no even hint at proof of God. It's just the Bible.
Yeah.
It's just people's belief in this entity.
And happy feelings. Let's not forget that.
Right,
and
yeah.
Coincidences that are framed as miracles.
And toast. Don't forget the toast.
Yeah.
The toast's a big one.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it doesn't sit well with me, the whole thing.
No, it doesn't me either. So going on to verse 4, the second half of that verse says, your love is like the morning mist, like the early dew that disappears. You remember me going, ha ha ha, doo-doo. God sees that the people's promise to return to him is nothing but words. Their hearts have not changed. They have no covenant loyalty towards God, okay?
Right.
And they have no love for him, and they have no desire to know him. And as long as they are without these qualities, all their sacrifices and offerings are useless. So they're just going through the motions, giving lip service.
Yeah.
And God is so all-knowing, as we just discussed, how all-knowing he is. There's me rolling my eyes. That's a / sarcasm.
Right.
He knows that they're being fake.
Yeah.
I don't know how he knows that, but not the other stuff.
He doesn't.
No.
There is this is more, again, we're talking about people in society, and we're talking about somebody who is judging their society. So he's saying, I don't like my neighbors and the way they're acting. So this is what I think of them, and this is what God's going to do to them.
Right.
That's all this is.
Yep. I mean, basically, it's the same thing as in colonial England colonial North. What am I trying to say? New England, colonial New England.
Yeah.
The Salem witch trial stuff. It's the same concept. I don't like my neighbor. I feel like they're being freaky do, so I'm going to say they're a witch.
Yeah.
It's
fear. You're just being a fearful busybody is what you're doing.
Yeah. Just mind your business.
Right.
Tim Walz says,
Yeah.
mind your business.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
Man.
Yeah. Yeah. So moving on to verse 7, it says, as at Adam, they have broken the covenant. They were unfaithful to me there, but they, like Adam, have transgressed the covenant. So this is making a comparison to early days.
Yeah.
Back in Genesis.
Right.
Because Adam in paradise transgressed the commandment, and God cast him out of the garden.
Sure.
Israel in possession of the promised land transgressed God's covenant, and God has cast them out and sent them into captivity.
I do find it interesting that Hosea, in these books, has mentioned Adam and referred to Israel as he.
Yeah.
There is a distinction here in this book, in my mind, with regard to how it is mentioned versus every other book we've read, where everything is female and Eve is the problem.
Yeah.
That is a distinction to me with regard to Hosea.
That is true. And we pointed out the calling Israel he and him.
Yeah.
We did call that out, but I hadn't put that together with referring to Adam as the problem and not Eve.
Yeah, no,
that's really interesting. It's a weird place to find him bringing in some equality stuff, because it doesn't really fit.
Well, but it might not even be equality, right? This might be Hosea being like, well, women don't have any responsibility at all.
Right.
So they couldn't have been responsible for this.
They're so stupid. You can't blame those stupid cows. I mean, they're just couches. They're just tables and chairs.
That's kind of how I would see him.
Okay, got it.
I can't be there to know Hosea's mind, but...
It was less, let's say it was Adam that did it. Everybody's always blaming Eve. Let's say Adam did it. It was less that than it was
a further insult to womanhood.
Well, and it's also interesting that this book is written a longer time ago than a lot of the books that we're reading.
That is true.
Right? So the
That is
idea
very
could have
true.
evolved over time. And since this is one of the older books,
Yeah.
maybe the original idea was that Adam was the sinful one and not Eve.
Oh, that
And
is.
eventually the men were like, fuck you, make the woman the one.
You know, the woman yes, she's a dumb bitch, incapable of doing anything because she's so disgusting and nasty. But also, at the same time that she's a stupid moron, she's also a maniacal, conniving, smartest everything and is able to work against you.
Right.
You know, kind of like Trump thinks of the Democrats.
Right.
You know, we're both-
we're the worst and dumbest and incapablest people on the planet, but
Yeah.
yet we do all the evil things and we are plotting against the
We're
whole
plotting.
world.
We're playing 3D chess or
Yeah,
whatever.
it's amazing.
My ex used to accuse me of that. You know, at the same time that I was like a dumb bitch, I was also always plotting to ruin his life.
I see.
And just doing horrible things.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
That's
anyway,
pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good. Yeah.
I was like, I'm both. I'm every woman. Isn't that a song? Yes, by
Is
Whitney
it?
Houston.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm every woman.
Yes. That's the one. That's the one.
Okay, so moving on to verse 6. Wait, no, chapter 6, verse 11.
Chapter
sorry.
6, verse 11.
Yeah,
Okay.
sorry.
Uh-huh.
Also for you, Judah, a harvest is appointed whenever I would restore the fortunes of my people. And then moving into chapter 7, verse 1. Whenever I would heal Israel, the sins of Ephraim are exposed and the crimes of Samaria revealed.
Okay.
So Judah has also transgressed. So it wasn't just Israel, okay?
Right.
And their harvest will
to
come.
distinguish between the northern tribes and we're distinguishing between the northern tribes and Judah at this point.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Because this is the time of kings, somewhat.
Yes.
And so that's when we were talking about the northern kingdoms and Judah as separate. So,
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
So he's saying, you know, I've been dissing Israel so much, but let us not forget that Judah, the southern tribes,
Right.
they are also fuck faces.
So basically, Israel's fucked. Judah, take heed.
Yeah. And they
Essentially
don't.
what they're saying.
Yeah. Yeah. Judah is being held to higher standards because they were forewarned,
Right.
which fair
That's
enough, I guess. Whatever.
Debatable, but
Yeah.
okay.
They will be reaped down and sent into captivity. They will reap what they sow. Those who sow the flesh will reap corruption. So, yeah, that's what that was about.
Yep.
Okay, moving into chapter 7 now.
Okay. Yep.
The oven, the bread, and the dove. Do you remember all that? Israel's iniquity and the rebellion.
Only a little bit. I maybe forget this a little bit, but
Okay.
we were so all over the place this
We
last
were.
couple of weeks that I
were.
don't have a clue.
Yeah. So this chapter is about Israel being reproved for multiple sins, resulting in God's wrath against them for their hypocrisy, which, I mean, that could very easily have just been the last chapter that we
Right,
read.
yeah.
All these chapters, ever since we stopped talking about Gomer
Right?
being a whore.
Yeah.
So verse 11 says, also for you, Judah, a harvest is appointed whenever I would restore the fortunes of my people. And then continues into chapter 7, verse 1. Whenever I would heal Israel, the sins of Ephraim are exposed and the crimes of Samaria revealed.
Okay.
So God is complaining in that second part of the sentence that though he had employed every means for reforming Israel, they still persisted in their iniquity without fearing the consequences. He's like, I tried to tell them.
But he didn't. Though.
No.
He told, again.
We've said this multiple
it's the
times.
same themes over and over and over
Yeah.
again. But you're talking to a few select prophets, and the rest of the people that are also important in these people's lives
Are prophets.
are saying, and they themselves are prophets according to them.
Yeah.
They are saying that they are correct and these things are wrong.
Yeah.
So who are people supposed to believe? God, if you're not talking to everybody, you can't really blame people for not getting your fucking message.
Kind of like today, there's so many different denominations of Christianity. Who
Right.
could know?
Could you imagine, for example, let's say that we had, we all are aware of the media landscape that's in the world, right?
Sure.
So let's say we had 25 people responsible to disseminate all the information that's coming through on the news to the rest of us.
Yeah.
And we just had to take their word for what was happening.
Those 25 people.
That's bullshit.
Exactly.
That is fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what's happening to the Israelites.
Yeah.
And they're being punished for it. They're being told that they are bad and horrible and that they're going to die. And no, to be fair, they're not being told, actually.
Right.
It's just happening to them.
Yeah.
According to the Bible.
Right.
And that's what is bullshit. Because if you look at that in the context of what we have to deal with today, it makes no fucking sense.
No.
Why would any entity that is supposedly divine and all powerful have this system in place where you cannot let people get the correct information directly from the source?
Right.
That's dumb.
No, I totally
There
agree.
is no other avenue. The avenue is through the prophet.
Yeah.
They can't even fucking read most of the time.
Right.
And at that time there wasn't even a Bible. So what were they supposed to do?
They were supposed to have known.
No. Fuck that shit.
No, I don't think so either.
Yeah, it's crap.
So verse 3 says, they delight the king with their wickedness, the princes with their lies. We were like, what? This phrase probably refers to one of the successful assassination plots against the throne of Israel during the ministry of Hosea. Since there were 4 kings violently overthrown during his ministry, it's hard to know exactly which one he means.
Got it.
So the Israelites always pleased Jeroboam by coming readily into his ways and heartily joining him in his idolatry. And they professed to be perfectly happy in their change and to be greatly advantaged by their new gods. So they were saying that the religion of the state now was better than that of under Jehovah, Yahweh.
Got it.
And thus they made all their rulers glad with their lies. So
okay,
that's what was happening.
Yeah.
Okay. So verse 7 says, all of them are hot as an oven. They devour their rulers. All their kings fall, and none of them calls on me. The death of Jeroboam II was followed by a series of plots. Remember, he had 4 kings killed during his time.
Right.
Okay. So Jeroboam was one of them. The death of Jeroboam was followed by a series of plots, conspiracies, and assassinations, a pitiful slaughter among the idolatrous kings of Israel. And we read about that in 2 Kings. 4 of these kings had fallen during the time of Hosea, the successful assassin in all of these cases, who would then become the king, was pleased with the treacherous deeds of his fellow plotters, even though he himself was not safe from the plotting of others.
Right.
So that's kind of funny.
I mean, and this isn't exclusive to Israel.
Not at all.
One of the most famous, we all know the Ides of March because, Julius Caesar was stabbed in the back by his own people,
Tout brute.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, these types of scenarios in ancient times were pretty fucking familiar. Yeah. And to be fair, even today, we're still dealing with some of that. We just had, I don't like the guy, but Trump there was a attempted assassination and
a second
kind of two. Yeah. So, that second one didn't really even get close to completing, but I mean, there were 2 assassination attempts against, a former president, which is, we still have this obsession with power and the need to enact change by taking that person out.
I'm going to say something real quick about it.
Yeah.
What I find really interesting, unless information has come out about the second guy that I have not heard yet, which is totally possible.
Right.
But the last I heard, neither of these guys was like Democrats trying to take out the Democrat rival.
I know the first one was previous, from what I had heard. And again, I don't want to speak with authority, but he had previously been kind of pro-Republican and then fell out of, sorts with Trump as opposed in his dealings with the world, I guess. So.
No, I don't believe that's correct.
Okay.
And I could be wrong, but it's my understanding that he had started out as a Democrat and had even paid a $15 moveon.org toward them.
Okay.
But then became a Republican, but so it was a registered Republican.
Okay.
When he did assassination attempt.
Right, yeah.
Which everybody was like, what? That's weird.
Yeah.
So, but the thing is, he had not, although he was a registered Republican, he had not been active or anything. And what they found on his computer or phone or whatever was that he was looking for a high profile politician. He was looking up all of them, whoever was coming closest to him.
Oh.
Because he wanted to make a name for himself.
Oh.
So it didn't matter who was standing on that stage that day.
Got it.
He wanted to try to kill them for his own sake.
I got it. Okay.
So that's my understanding of what happened. Again, I could have it wrong. With this second guy, I think that he maybe was not it's always a he, isn't it?
Right.
I don't think he was registered either way. I don't know. I think that his was like some kind of, he hasn't been mentally stable, and heard that if Trump becomes president, that it's going to be like the worst thing ever and the world will explode. So that's why he tried, but it was more of a mental illness thing than a Democrat running after a Republican, because I don't know that he was necessarily a Democrat.
Right.
But that's the most that I know of either of those two.
Sure.
And again, I could be misremembering. I could have them both wrong. And also more information could have come out since whatever I just said.
Got it. Okay. Yep.
So I see you over there typing.
No, I was just curious. Like,
no, I was just curious. While you're doing that, have you come up with any information that either adds to or refutes what I said?
No. I was just looking up to see if there was anything like immediately available about the second guy political affiliation, and I off the top of my head here, I haven't found anything specifically. So
the top of the Googles.
Yeah, the top of the Google's head. So yeah, I don't know. But it is what it is.
Well, that's what I find interesting, though, is neither of them were like, you know what? I'm a hardcore liberal, progressive, lefty left Democrat, and I am going to go fuck some shit up today and kill me a goddamn MAGA Republican.
Right.
Like, that doesn't happen because people who are progressive, Democrat, liberal, leftists aren't really inclined toward violence that way.
Yeah. Actually, this might have been the guy I was thinking of, because his the second guy, his social media, he described himself as a Trump supporter turned Trump critic.
Oh,
so
okay.
That might have been who I was thinking of.
Oh,
So,
I didn't realize that.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So that's the second guy then.
Yep.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Still not a Democrat, though.
Right.
I would say.
No.
That was probably more Christianity
He doesn't refer to himself as a Democrat. He refers to himself as a Trump critic. So
got it.
That's
I would guess
a lot different. Apparently he was once a registered Democrat in North Carolina, but that was 2 decades ago. So anybody who has followed politics for 2 decades knows that means something
way different.
Way different. Yeah.
And even at that, a Republican in North Carolina, or a Democrat in North Carolina, I should say, is not the same as a Democrat in less red state.
Yeah.
Yep. The reddest state Democrat is still going to be so far right of any like other Democrat on like one of your coasts.
Right. Yeah.
So.
Yep.
Interesting.
Yep.
So I would say his assassination attempt was more probably Christianity and ideology based.
Well, so again, this is it's coming back to me a little bit as to what I did know. I think he had some tentative plans or want or wish to go fight in Ukraine against Russia.
Yes, I do remember that.
Which would lead me to believe that he was not for the stances that Trump took against Ukraine.
So
that was
gonna just go kill him.
I guess. Yeah, I don't know.
You fuck.
Well, I mean, Trump was going to, basically hand Ukraine over to Russia, or would and will if he ever became president. So
again,
right.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that makes perfect sense. I always go out and murder people that are blowing up the world.
Nope.
Right? Yeah.
Do not recommend.
Do not. So, okay, to go over those 4 kings that were each assassinated during Hosea's lifetime.
Yeah.
Zechariah was slain by Shallum. Shallum was slain by Menahem. Menahem was
assassinated by Pekaniah, who was slain by Pekah. And Pekah was slain by Hosea.
Got it. Yeah.
And that was all in 2 Kings.
Okay. All right.
And all were idolaters and all came to an untimely death. I mean, as assassination does.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So verse 8 goes on to say, Ephraim mixes with the nations. Ephraim is a flat loaf not turned over.
Oh.
Ephraim is a cake unturned is another translation.
Got it.
So the idea is of a half-baked cake.
Okay.
And where that comes from is this. In those days, bread was often prepared as a cake that was cooked on both sides, something like a pancake. Having heated the hearth, they sweep one corner, put the cake upon it, and cover it with embers. In a short time, they'll turn it over, cover it again, and continue this several times in a row till they find it sufficiently baked.
Okay.
In thinking the people can serve both God and the idols of other nations.
Yeah.
Israel is like an unturned pancake, burnt on one side, uncooked on the other.
Got it.
So that's what they meant by a half-baked cake or a cake unturned or a flat loaf not turned over.
See, now I feel like they would be thinking that they're like a completely turned cake. They're like, I'm taking advice from all these gods, here, just turn me over 1,000,000 times.
Sure.
Whatever. We'll go over this one today, that one tomorrow. I got all the gods. Look at this.
I'm so baked.
Yeah.
Yeah. Verse 9 says, foreigners sap his strength, but he does not realize it. His hair is sprinkled with gray, but he does not notice. Remember that? And we were like, the fuck is this?
Right.
Like,
I'm assuming it's talking about influences from like other cultures like the Egyptians and Assyrians and stuff like that.
Yes and no. It's that he's doing all of these bad behaviors that he's getting from other neighbors, but he doesn't notice how he's acting. So
he being Israel.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. So it's comparing a man who's like super old, has gray hair, he's all grizzled, right? But he's still acting like a young shot,
Sure.
like talking about those glory football days.
Right.
Right. So not realizing, acting a way that is not true to who he actually is.
Got it.
Is what that is about.
Got it.
Okay, verse 11 says, Ephraim is like a dove, easily deceived and senseless, now calling to Egypt, now turning to Assyria.
And that's why I was saying what I said, because I remember that being part of that chapter was that they were talking about Egypt and Assyria. And what was the bit before where they were saying that they were easily swayed or something, or they were taking too much influence from something or other or whatever.
Foreigners sap his strength.
Yeah, foreigners sap his strength. So and then they move on directly to talk about Assyria and Egypt, which is why I said what I said, because I feel like that was part of it too.
Got it. Well, another way that is translated in other versions, Ephraim also is like a silly dove without heart.
Those damn silly doves.
I know.
Yeah.
Well, I found this part very interesting. Because here's the thing. I don't know a lot about doves, except they're supposed to be the bird of peace.
Right.
And that they carry an olive branch to offer that peace. And that comes directly from that whole Noah's Ark thing.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
So here's the thing. A dove is a bird that has very little understanding. It's easily snared and taken. It's careless about its own young. And it seems to live without any kind of thought. So it's a dumb bird. I didn't know. It has been made by those who, like itself, are without heart, the symbol of conjugal affection. So all they care about is fucking, not taking care of anything else, much like what Israel is doing right now, right?
Right.
I mean, not right now today, right now in the Bible.
In the Bible.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Just wanted to clarify.
Yep.
Nothing worse could have been chosen for the dove and its mate are continually quarreling. So that's just like, I had no idea about these birds that are just the birds of peace.
Sure.
So anyway, they strive to make Egypt and Assyria their allies and friends. Like they keep going back and forth. Remember, we talked about this when we were reading way back, how they're just in the middle.
Right. Well, then that was actually later on. This is before that.
Yes.
It's constantly been a struggle. It's constantly been a political turmoil. They're in the middle of all these major powers, and that's why a lot of shit happened here, because they were in the middle of it all.
Yes.
That's all.
Because
That's it.
they lived in a good place,
Well,
resource wise.
yes, and they lived in the middle of a bunch of other shit.
Right. Yeah. But I mean, everybody wanted that area of the world because that area had like fertile crescent, the whole like nice valleys and water and whatnot, Canaan, the land of honey, right?
Right.
Like it was good land. So everybody wanted it.
Right.
And so they all fought over it. The end. That's the whole story.
Yeah.
So when they're specifically going between Egypt and Assyria, they're kind of their allies. They're like frenemies.
Mm-hmm.
But this showed that, like the doves, they were without heart and had no understanding. For those two, Egypt and Assyria, were rival nations, and Israel could not attach itself to one without incurring the jealousy and displeasure of the other. So thus, like the silly dove, they were constantly falling into snares, sometimes of the Egyptians and at other times of the Assyrians. By the former, they were betrayed, and by the latter, they were ruined.
Got it.
So,
Yep.
Found that interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on to chapter 8.
Okay.
Sow the wind, reap the whirlwind, the rebuke of Israel's idolatry.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember that?
I do.
I love that. Sow the wind, reap the whirlwind.
Right.
I love it. So this chapter contains prophecies about the impending destruction of Israel and Judah for their impiety and idolatry. And it's like, does it? Because I thought we just read that some more.
And again.
The chapter begins with threatening some hostile invasion in short and broken sentences full of rapidity. Ba 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 ba.
Right.
Ba ba ba. Boom boom. And expressive of sudden danger and alarm due to their hypocrisy, iniquity, treason, and idolatry, particularly the worshipping of the calves of Dan and Bethel. Boom, boom, boom. The people of Israel claim to know God, but they have broken their covenant with him and sinned against his law. Did they? Oh, no.
Yeah.
I never knew that always, the whole book. God will use the Assyrian army, here symbolized by an eagle, to bring his punishment upon them. Their kings are not people appointed by God, but traitors who murder to gain power. The center of their religion is not Yahweh God, but the golden calves set up as idols in their cities.
Which is also Yahweh to them.
Yes, exactly.
From what we did research on earlier
Yeah.
when we were reading through stuff.
Yeah, so that bears repeating every time this comes up.
It does. It does.
So verse 7 says, they sow the wind and reap the whirlwind. The stalk has no head. It will produce no flower. Were it to yield grain, foreigners would swallow it up. So this is considered a proverb which states that works have rewards and actions have consequences, especially that people may face negative consequences for their bad actions.
Sure.
Reap what you motherfucking sow.
Right, right.
We all know that one.
Yep.
So moving on to chapter 9, this is about being exiled and dried up. Okay?
Yep.
The punishments to fit the sins, the punishment for Israel's persistent unfaithfulness, blah, 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 blah. Like, no kidding. It just goes on and on about it.
Right.
Okay? This chapter contains prophecies about the distress and captivity of Israel for her sins. Oh, her sins. No, she's a girl again.
Right.
Especially for committing idolatry. And so we're coming to a place where the end of the good life in Israel is coming.
Sure.
Okay?
I mean, it seems like that's always the case. but whatever.
They're about to get it. They're
Yeah.
always about to get it.
Yeah.
They're like 2 seconds from getting it.
Right.
Baal worship and its accompanying immoral rituals were aimed at increasing the produce from farms and vineyards. As a punishment, God will destroy the farms and vineyards and send the people into captivity.
That'll teach people. You know,
Yeah.
we want more farm production, and we're going to try to fix it by doing this. And then instead, the person that we're supposed to be worshiping, that we don't know we're supposed to be worshiping, he's gonna ruin all that, and then we're supposed to worship him.
Yeah.
That doesn't make any
Don't you
fucking
always
sense.
worship the ones
No.
that fuck you up?
No.
Right?
No.
No, me neither. Me neither. They will be forced to eat food that to them is unclean
Not
when
that.
they are sent into captivity.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
it's so sad.
Yeah.
They will not be able to offer the usual food and wine offerings once they're in captivity.
Yeah, it's horrible.
In fact, they will barely have enough to keep themselves alive.
Right.
So
So I guess they're going to be very happy that they have that unclean food from these other people that have other gods.
Yeah.
And gracious that these people are helping them sustain their life.
right.
and yet God is the one that's letting them go over there to wither and die.
Yeah, and then he's like, how dare you eat that food? Like,
Right?
what?
Yeah.
What?
Like, fuck you, dude.
Yeah. So then we get into the days of Israel's punishment in Egypt. So meanwhile, while this is happening, the land in which they once lived will become wild again through neglect.
Okay.
The people do not like Hosea's denunciations and warnings, obviously.
Of course, they never do. No one likes the naysayers, right?
No, of course not.
It's a thing. People say, "Don't kill the messenger." You know,
Yeah.
like people don't like it when you bring bad news,
Right?
And moreover, why the fuck would they believe you?
Yeah.
I don't understand what your standing is that makes you more authoritative than somebody else.
Now, see, here's where a Christian or a Republican or both or whatever might say, yeah, but Democrats are always doom and glooming and naysaying about the end of the world because we're melting it, or it's too hot, or it's going to flood. What is it now? Oh, the world's on fire,
Right.
Climate change, blah, blah, blah. Then they would say, you're telling us that you shouldn't believe the naysayers or don't shoot the messenger, but you guys are being doomsday sayers.
No, I'm saying this person doesn't have any facts to back them up. At least we have facts to back this up.
Totally.
And moreover, I kind of agree that we should probably be more positive with action that we're going to take, as opposed to always talking about the shitty things that are going to happen.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm not saying we don't need to address those, but our public front should be, hey, just we all know this is the thing, but this is what we're going to do positively to enact change.
Yeah.
We should talk more about that change and how it's going to influence jobs and do all these other, like, it should snowball into a fucking just branched out, chart of everything is going to be awesome by the time we're done.
Yeah.
Right? That should be the message, not this sucks, we need to fix it.
We need a new deal.
Right. Yeah.
I mean,
we need to see what the end result will be when we're done with our plan.
Yeah.
And right now we're just reacting to shitty things that are happening.
I mean, to be fair, like, the world's on fire and we're running around trying to put the fires out, and there's not been a lot of time to, like, just sit down and make a plan.
But we need to.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. So the people, like I said, do not like Hosea's denunciations and warnings. He is God's messenger to them, the nation's watchman. Remember, we talked about watchmen.
Right.
But they call him a fool and a madman, and they even plot to kill him.
Yeah,
Womp, womp, womp. So Israel is barren and dried up in judgment. And God is then introduced, declaring his early favor for his people and the delight he took in their obedience. He's like, remember when I used to love you? And they're like, no.
Not really. No.
Yeah. But now the people had so deeply revolted, all their glory will take wing. God will forsake them, and their offspring will be devoted to destruction. Womp, womp.
Okay.
So God sends barrenness and bereavement. Yay! When God brought the people of Israel out of Egypt and led them through the wilderness, his desire was that they enter a new era of fruitfulness. But before they reached the promised land even, they had turned to Baalism and its immorality.
Got it.
So,
I feel like God wasn't holding up his end of the bargain.
He never does.
That's,
Such unfaithfulness has characterized the people ever since then. Like, from day one, they've been fuck-ups.
Yeah.
They practice sexual rites, hoping that their families will increase. So God's punishment, accordingly, will cause their families to decrease. Because of their Baal practices, they will be fruitless instead of fruitful. They will go into shameful captivity in a foreign land. Boom. Okay, so chapter 10 now. We're closing in on the end.
Yep.
Israel has no king. What? The punishment for Israel's persistent unfaithfulness continued, reaping what they have motherfucking sown. Okay.
Yep.
This last chapter here contains prophecies dated to the period between Shalmaneser V's first and second invasions of Israel. And I was like, sorry, what's a Shalmaneser? So this chapter contains prophecies dated to the period between Shalmaneser V's first and second invasions of Israel. And I was like, what the fuck is a Shalmaneser?
Right.
Much less 5 of them, right? So here's who he was. He was the king of the Neo-Assyrian Empire from the death of his father Tiglath-Pileser III
in 727 BCE to his deposition and death in 722 BCE. So he ruled about 5 years. Shalmaneser V's brief reign is poorly known from contemporary sources, but is renowned for the conquest of Samaria and the fall of the kingdom of Israel. Who knew?
Yeah.
Though the conclusion of that campaign is sometimes attributed to his successor, Sargon. Wah, wah.
Yeah. That sucks. Lost his credit.
Yeah. I mean, I never heard of the dude, but I've heard of Sargon. Israel is reproved and threatened for its impiety and idolatry, some more, and exhorted to repentance, some more.
Right.
So then we talk more about what this chapter deals with, which is more of the same. It's more of the same. It's the same more.
It's the same.
Yeah. It begins with comparing Israel to a fruitful vine that is corrupted by too much prosperity. That always happens to me. And then it next reproves and threatens them for their idolatry, anarchy, and breach of covenant. I feel like I keep reading the same sentences over and over.
We are.
Their idolatry is then enlarged upon and its fatal consequences declared in terms of sublimity and pathos. Darkness. Darkness. Okay, so verse 8 says, the high places of wickedness will be destroyed. It is the sin of Israel. Thorns and thistles will grow up and cover their altars. Then they will say to the mountains, cover us, and to the hills, fall on us. And we were like, what the fuck does that all mean? Do you remember?
Yep.
So this is saying that no one can be trusted. Injustice, like a poisonous plant, is having a deadly effect. It is killing the nation. The people do not fear God, and as a result will fall under his judgment. They, along with their king and the golden calf that they worship, will be carried off to Assyria. The land will be ruined, and the Baal altars will become overgrown with weeds. Okay. So then we move on, and God is introduced complaining of their excessive guilt and threatening them with captivity in terms that bear a manifest allusion to their favorite idolatry, the worshiping of the similitude of a calf or heifer. Okay. And then so we move on to verse 11. Ephraim is a trained heifer that loves to thresh. So I will put a yoke on her fair neck. I will drive Ephraim. Judah must plow and Jacob must break up the ground.
Yeah, we definitely had a question about that.
Yeah, like what even is all that?
Right.
Okay. So Ephraim is thoroughly broken into and goes along peaceably in the yoke.
Okay.
Is what this is all about.
Got it.
So she doesn't mind. She's fine. Okay.
All right.
She is pleased and thus eats the corn. But she will not only tread out the corn, she will also draw the plow and drag the harrow so that there may be seed for the fields. Israel very frequently asked for stuff from Judah. So they leaned on Judah a lot.
Right.
And as Israel loved to, quote, tread out the corn and not the plow, so they didn't mind eating what was cooked, but they didn't want to do the work.
Okay.
Therefore, now he will be made to plow. He's going to have to work.
Got it.
Which is to say, he will be put under the yoke of the Assyrians. Okay.
Yep.
So Judah and Jacob shall plow for themselves means that Judah should no longer plow for Israel, but for himself, and Israel shall no more make requests on him or demands, and you got to do your own shit.
Got it.
Okay.
Got it.
So that apparently is what that meant.
Okay.
So that pretty much sums up those 5 chapters and answers the few questions that we had.
All right. Yeah, it was very repetitive. It was very much the same thing all the way through. And yeah, that God sucks.
I know, right?
Yeah.
I think that he gave me a runny nose and a cold. So if you heard me sniffling throughout, I apologize. We're going to try to edit some of that out. Some might get through though. So apologies. And I think that's it.
Yep. So that was our Q&A for today.
Yes, it was.
I will be getting the weekly wrap up out here for tomorrow. And then we're going to do a special episode. Yeah. And we'll explain a little bit more about what our upcoming weeks will look like from there going forward.
And that will be in our live episode.
Yeah, that'll be our live episode which we'll be doing Wednesday night at 10 p.m. on
Eastern.
Discord.
10 p.m. Eastern on Discord.
Yep. And there's always a link in the show notes. So definitely check that out and join us there.
Yep.
And then we'll see you guys then.
Yep. Bye.
Bye.
Wife.
What are we doing?
Well, we're actually doing a special episode.
Special episode? What the hell?
Yes. So this one is going to be available for everybody. And it's kind of the start of a new thing with us.
A thing?
A thing.
What thing?
So we have sucked at getting our podcast out lately.
And how?
So wife and I sat down and tried to figure out why we've sucked. And
how we can stop feeling like suckage.
Yeah. And we came up with some solutions because a lot of this lately, some of it has revolved around wife being injured and the outcomes of all that.
Yeah.
But beyond that, I, as many of you know, have started a new job, and that has affected things as well.
And you're working 1 million hours.
I'm working 1 million hours, yeah. And so what we've decided is that we have basically 1.5 days where we can get ahead on our podcast. And the way we were doing things was that we got ahead to a certain point until we hit our live Discord, which is what we're doing tonight, actually.
Yes.
We're on our live Discord tonight.
Which you can join us every Wednesday at 10 Eastern on Discord.
Yeah, and I highly recommend it, especially after what we're about to announce.
Yeah.
So what we decided, we could only prepare so far because we wanted to stay current with our episodes when we reached the Discord. And what we're going to do going forward is our Discord night, so Wednesday nights when we record, will be special episodes every week. And every other week will be a Patreon-only special episode.
Yes.
Or Discord only.
Yes.
So you can catch them always on Discord if you're live with us that night. Or they will be Patreon only on the every other weeks.
Yeah.
We will do a special episode that goes out every other week for everybody as well. So we're going to kind of bounce back and forth, but the only way to catch them all is to either be with us on Patreon or Discord or both.
Yeah.
That would be, that would be ideal. The best way for us.
The best of both worlds. Yeah. Yeah. It's true.
But so that's what we're going to start doing tonight.
And that means that our Wednesday night lives will no longer be specifically Bible-centric, and that we will not necessarily be reading a chapter,
right?
Which is what we've been doing.
Yeah.
Our Wednesday lives will now be more current affairs, particularly maybe leaning on news and politics, and because of that will be somewhat America-centric. So
right.
Apologies to our international listeners. I know that doesn't always interest you guys. But,
well, and some of the other things we'll probably end up discussing will just be relevant themes to secularism and atheists, things like that.
Yeah, they will always have a tie to our channel's purpose, which is atheism and free thought and agnosticism and humanism and all of that. Secularism.
The whole
Thank
thing.
you. Yeah.
Right. So that being said, this is it this month that this is for, or is it the thing that we're going to be discussing tonight? Is it a month-long thing, or is it this week?
This week.
This week. Okay. Yeah. So there is a thing going on this week, which is kind of influencing what we're talking about tonight, which is going to be
Banned Books Week.
Yeah,
is what we're talking about tonight.
And this is one that is near and dear to our hearts and wife's heart in particular.
Yes.
Because wife is quite the connoisseur of books.
Well, and libraries. We met by working in a bookstore. We did.
Yeah. So actually, as far as our relationship is concerned, it's actually very relevant to us. Yeah. And I think I speak for wife and I both in that we believe that there shouldn't be banned books.
We were discussing this topic last night, and the anarchist cookbook came up.
Well, okay. So we did discuss that. And I guess when it comes to direct harm and influencing or having the ability to create harm in a book and the instructions on how to do so,
right,
that might cross a line.
It's similar to we have freedom of speech here in America, except that of course there are things that we can't do. Even though we have freedom of speech, we can't yell fire in a crowded theater if there's not a fire.
Right.
So there's always going to be these rules that have what I would consider common sense exceptions.
Yeah.
But as we all know, sense is anything but common.
Right.
So,
and just before we jump into the main bit, I will say that like atheists in general like to joke that the banned book that they want would be the Bible. But to be perfectly honest with you, I don't want the Bible to be banned. I think that we should have the Bible accessible to everybody. And actually more than that, I think it should be taught not to children, but it should be discussed and talked about in the sense that it is a piece of literature about a mythical being from the past, from our past and human history.
Sure.
It needs to be discussed in the way that it actually is and not how it exists in people's, zeitgeist for their own religion.
Right.
But
exactly.
The reason that you don't ban books like the Bible, even though they can cause harm with regard to how these laws affect us, is because we still have to be able to examine those texts that are affecting people, regardless of whether they're banned or not,
right,
and talk about them.
Exactly.
And that's why it's important not to ban things.
Yeah. Stop banning books, you guys.
So anyway, I think we're going to get into a lot more in this episode. Just wanted to make everybody aware of the change in our platform somewhat. We will probably be doing kind of one less episode a week. So like we'll be doing like 4 Bible study chapters per week, 1 special episode, and a Q&A.
Yeah.
And that's going to be generally how we set it up because it cuts one day off for us and gives us some time to reset and rethink and replan.
And let us work ahead without interfering with our live.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it takes a lot of stress off of us and it allows us to move forward and still be productive with what we're doing.
Exactly.
So I hope you all are on board with what we're doing and we're looking forward to this new,
format layout
that we're doing.
Yeah.
And we hope you'll like it too.
Yeah.
So with that being said, are you ready to jump into this?
Sure as fuck am.
All right, let's do this.
Okie dokie. All right, let's get into Banned Books Week, shall we?
We shall.
Okay.
Okay.
Banned Books Week. Do you know what it is?
Where we banned books.
All the books.
And we ban them or banned them?
We ban all the books and then we put them in a band and that's too
much.
No,
yeah,
too much. Bad.
I tried it. It went wrong.
Nope.
It went south.
Take it back.
We're going to go on with this.
Let's pretend that never happened.
That didn't happen.
Banned Books Week is an annual awareness campaign promoted by the American Library Association.
Yes.
The ALA, which I will say more about in a minute.
Right.
Along with Amnesty International, which
really?
I didn't know
realize.
They were part of
that.
Yeah.
But that's actually really fantastic.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a fact I did not know. And I did Banned Books Week either last year or the year before. We covered this.
We did.
And
because books are near and dear to our hearts.
Yes. Yes.
So.
But I don't recall that being a factoid.
Thing.
Yeah.
Maybe they just started, supporting it. Maybe they jumped on. Who knows?
Who knows? But it's cool nonetheless.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
So the purpose of Banned Books Week is threefold. 1, it celebrates the freedom to read.
Yeah. Duh. Right.
2, it draws attention to banned and challenged books. And there is a difference between challenged and banned.
Got it. Okay.
And number 3, it highlights persecuted individuals, which I did not realize that it was about the individual as much as the book. And that's really interesting to me.
Well, I think Salman Rushdie comes to mind, right?
Yeah.
He is, his home country does not support what he does.
Right.
And
he survived an assassination attempt.
Yeah, not all that long ago, actually.
Just in the last couple of years, I think.
Right.
And he lost an eye or something.
Yeah. So, and his book is not even available to read in his own country. So it's things like that. There's people that risk their lives to get information to you.
Yeah.
Through their words, and that to me is admirable and worthy of respect and support. So. And
FYI, if you've never read Salman Rushdie, highly recommend.
Yeah.
He's so good. And I about poop my pants every time I watch Bridget Jones's Diary because he plays a small role in that movie. He plays the role of the quote unquote boring academic
I did not
author.
Know that, actually.
Yeah. She basically thinks that he's overly pretentious or whatever.
Right.
And he plays that guy.
Got it.
And that is just fucking hilarious. And every time I see him, I'm like, Oh my God, that's Salman Rushdie. I always forget he's in Bridget Jones's Diary.
That's very cool.
Yeah. And that's a movie that I watch every New Year's. Okay, anyway, whatever. So the United States campaign with regard to Banned Books Week stresses the importance of ensuring the availability of those unorthodox or unpopular viewpoints to all who wish to read them, and the requirement to keep material publicly available so that people can develop their own conclusions and opinions.
Yeah.
Banned Books Week is intended to encourage readers to examine challenged literary works and to promote intellectual freedom in libraries, schools, and bookstores.
Yeah.
So we'll get into libraries and schools at least in a minute here. Okay.
Yeah.
Ultimately, its goal is to teach the importance of our First Amendment rights and the power of literature, and to draw attention to the danger that exists when restraints are imposed on the availability of information in a free society.
Well, and you know this as well as I do, but I think that it's very important to read things. And you know, what we're doing with this entire podcast actually is you know, emblematic of this idea, and that's that read things that challenge your ideas of what is right and correct, right? Yeah. And try to understand things from a different perspective, so that way all it does to me, not all it does, but part of what it does for me is allows me to step outside of my own worldview and challenge my take on different ideas and then reformulate them in order to adapt to this new information that I'm getting, right? And to me, that's important to be able to do.
I have such mixed feelings on this because I like my comfort level. I like staying in my zone. I like being complacent. No, I'm trying to be human here, right? And like, I don't want to go out there and read Christian literature, but here I am reading the Bible. So, I mean,
Sure.
Even at that, I am pushing myself outside my comfort zone. But like, I'm not going to go shopping in a Christian bookstore and read a lot of Christian books.
Right.
Or there's like a whole bunch of genres. Like, I don't read Westerns, you know?
Sure.
Like, I don't really enjoy tedious biographies.
But to me, it would be, so for example, right? If we continue going down this road with our podcast for a long, long time, and we get done with the Bible at some point, I at least, am probably going to read other things, and some of them will be things to challenge myself. And that would be, you know, I've always wanted to read the writings by C.S. Lewis with regard to religion, because that's something that is brought up quite a bit.
Sure.
And, you know, the philosophies that he had with regard to how Christianity is viable and real are important to the zeitgeist of the discussion.
Sure.
Right? So these are things that I want to pursue in order to better formulate my ideas of what I have with regard to my beliefs and my stance on religion.
No,
and
I totally
God,
get that. I totally get that.
So, and that's
I'm just trying to be honest.
Yeah.
Like, honestly speaking, there are some things that I don't want to try out.
I completely agree with you. I will never read Danielle Steele.
Right?
So I'm just saying that one is not going to be something I will ever read.
Yeah, I'm not into romance or erotica.
If you like Danielle Steele, more power to you. I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
So
it's not my thing.
Right.
And yeah. So I guess the difference is that whereas I don't want to come out of my zone and try things, I'm not willing to stop other people. Like, if you like romance or erotica or whatever, if you like Westerns, that's fine. It's there. Read it. Go read all the things.
Well, oddly enough, one of the books that you and I connected on when we were younger was Atlas
Shrugged
right?
by Ayn
And
Rand.
we were both reading it for the reasons of understanding a different perspective on, you know, politics. And, you know, that was why we were reading it. Not because we were fans of Ayn Rand.
No.
You know, like we were trying to understand this point of view and then be able to comment about it better after having read that book, right? So information, even opposing views, being available for everybody to read and understand and have available is very, very, very important.
It was important for our marriage.
Well, yeah.
I mean, okay, I know we've told this story before, but just for anybody who has never heard it,
we were both going to our local community college, and we both ended up in the computer lab at the same time, and we're sitting next to each other, and we were like, hey, how are you? Because we had worked together. We had worked together at a bookstore.
Yeah.
So,
which we could say the name. It's not even a bookstore anymore.
Oh, yeah. It's Borders Books and Music.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So we used to work there, loved it. And then when we bumped into each other on the community college campus,
right,
it was just like really cool, like just coming back to an old friend, you know?
Yeah.
And so we started hanging out when we were sitting next to each other in the computer lab. You, husband, opened your backpack and I about shit my pants because not only did the book Ayn Rand's Atlas Shrugged tumble out of your backpack, but I saw your bookmark. You were almost exactly the same way the same portion of the way through the book that I was.
Right.
And I was like, you're reading that? You have got to be fucking kidding me. And then like, I opened my bag and pulled my copy out. And like, we weren't taking the same classes. Like this was not a college requirement or suggestion.
No.
We didn't run in the same circles and have it come up in conversation or anything like that.
We both had chose to read that book.
Yeah. So, I mean, if I believed in fate, I might say it was meant to be, but this is an atheist podcast, so
and also, if you look at the history, we met at the fucking bookstore.
Right.
And we were both...
A very liberal bookstore at that.
Yeah, yeah.
At the time.
And you were discovering your liberalness at the time.
Yeah.
Like you were coming into your own with regard to that, and this was part of that journey for you, I think.
It was, yeah. So it's not that unusual.
Right.
It was
I was very political, too. Or, no, I shouldn't say too. I was very political.
Yeah.
I was at the time campaigning for the Green Party. I was doing all kinds of shit that was very, out
active,
there with active and out there with regard to people of my age group at the time with regard to politics. I read a lot of political books.
Yeah.
I read a lot of history. I read a lot of, when I was in my early 20s, you probably didn't want to fuck with me on politics because I was probably an angry fucking kid with regard to politics.
Yeah.
That's kind of who I was. So
I'll just never forget the day that I realized that I was not the Republican that my parents had brought me up to be.
Right.
And I emailed like all my liberal friends and was like, oh my God, you guys, I think I'm a Democrat. And like everybody was like sending me like applause and like, great job and welcome and so glad to see you here. And husband, you sent me welcome to the dark side.
Yeah.
It was so great.
Yep.
Okay, so anyway, back to banned books.
Right, banned books.
Not romance.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, we got people shouldn't expect us to get off on. Never mind.
What? So anyway.
Yes, tangents. We do those.
Yeah, so we talked about the United States campaign with regard to Banned Books Week.
Yeah.
The international campaign recognizes individuals who have been persecuted because of the writings that they produce, circulate, or read. So that's where Salman Rushdie, your example, would be mentioned.
One of those, Right.
Amnesty International documents cases annually which show individuals who have been reportedly killed, incarcerated, or otherwise harassed by national authorities around the world.
Wow.
They urge people to take action to help it in partnership with its Urgent Action Network by contacting authorities regarding human rights violations. The international event held by Amnesty International has been praised for reminding people about the price that some people pay for expressing controversial views.
Right.
Wow, Yep. Since 2011, the American Association of School Libraries, which is a branch under the ALA, has designated the Wednesday of Banned Books Week as Banned Website Awareness Day. And we're recording this on Wednesday of Banned Books Week.
Well,
so today is,
cool.
Right?
Yeah.
Now, if you're listening to this when it posts, then it's Thursday or after. So you're late and you missed it.
Sure.
And you should have been on Discord, at 10 p.m. Eastern on Wednesdays.
Right. I bet our podcast website probably ends up in some like filters because there's cuss words all through it. So
right.
At the very least, that's even before you get to the ideas that are promoted through it. With regard to the atheism and everything else. So,
well, husband, happy Banned Website Awareness Day.
Yeah.
And you're supposed to say and to you as well.
Yeah, and to you as well. I'm sorry.
Thank you.
I apologize.
Oh my God.
I apologize. I didn't.
Rude.
I didn't know that we were celebrating right here on the air.
Yeah.
I thought you were just acknowledging that. Yeah, that's a thing. So
rude.
Yeah.
The theme of this year's event is "Freed Between the Lines."
Oh,
Love
that's
it.
clever.
Yeah,
That is clever.
love
I
it.
like it.
I'm always here for a good dad joke or a dad pun.
Oh,
and
did you like my dad joke today?
yes,
Oh my gosh.
it was so smart.
It was really dumb. It was really fucking dumb.
It was so
But it
smart.
was great. So okay, I'm going to start the story. You can finish it.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
okay. I was at work where there was a freaking red-tailed hawk in a tree at work, and it was just sitting there. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's so beautiful. And so I found a place where I could take a really great picture of it. I took a really great picture of it. I'm going to share it in Discord when we're done. So,
It's beautiful.
But it's a beautiful picture.
Yeah.
And
you,
anyway,
you sent it to me and Kid.
yeah, and then you can tell them what I said.
And you said sitting in a tree in front of our place of work.
Yeah.
And then Kid said, did he buy a thing? And then you said, LOL, no. He said our prices were too Falcon high.
Falcon, because Falcon.
Falcon, because Falcon. Yeah. And I died, and this is my ghost speaking.
That's all.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Like I said,
I was proud of that moment for about 30 seconds.
No, I said that to my mom and your
Did
mom,
you
and
really?
they both appreciated it. It was a good one. My mom said that she and Dad were both cracking up.
Yeah.
It was a good one.
Yep.
Too Falcon High. Nice. All right, so let's talk a little bit more about the American Library Association.
Okay.
It is a nonprofit organization based in the U.S. that promotes libraries and library education internationally. It is the oldest and largest library association in the world.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
ALA membership is open to any person or organization. Why are we not members of the ALA?
Mostly poor.
Though its members are mostly libraries or librarians.
Sure.
And I am in a different life, have a master's in library science. I'm a librarian in my
That's what you want to be.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. In a different timeline.
Right.
And if I were to pursue that career choice, that career field, I would have to find a school that has an accredited program that is approved by the ALA.
Right.
So they're
an important group.
They're for real.
Yeah.
Like, you don't just go to school and be like, I'm a librarian now.
Right.
Like, if the ALA says you're not, then your degree is nothing.
Right.
So anyway, most members of the ALA live and work in the U.S., with international members comprising only 3.5% of total membership, which makes sense. It's based in the U.S.
Yeah.
But that's where Amnesty International comes in.
Got it.
All right, but let's talk about that thing I mentioned earlier, the American Association of School Libraries, which is a branch of that.
Okay.
The AASL is a division of the ALA that serves primary school and secondary school librarians in the U.S., Canada, and internationally.
Okay.
Which is why it says primary school and secondary school. Because what?
Right.
The mission of the American Association of School Librarians is to empower leaders to transform teaching and learning. AASL publishes standards for school libraries that provide benchmarks and insight into the indicators for each standard. Its various publications assist in helping school librarians establish effective library programs that meet the needs of changing school library environments.
Yeah, so, and you know what? I'm going to applaud the school librarians out there, because a lot of them have really stepped up to the plate when it's come to some of these banned book things that are happening in the news.
Yeah, particularly in Florida.
Yeah, and they really have held their ground with regard to their stance on how to treat the information that is in their libraries.
They've tried to fight it, and when they couldn't fight it anymore, they complained. Some of them retired over it or quit.
Right.
Some of them created secret libraries for students that, were really interested in one of these banned books.
But they've made a public statement. Collectively, as a group of people.
Yes.
They have. There's been enough voices out there that it is well known that they have stood up for the rights of free speech, and it's something that is very admirable to me on a individual basis.
Yes. No, that is
something that I've always appreciated about librarians in general.
Yeah.
To me, they are like not the front line, but they are right there in the fight for First Amendment rights.
Yeah.
And they are just so brave, and the work that they do is amazing. I so admire them. They are heroes.
I agree.
Hats off to librarians everywhere.
I agree.
So, Banned Website Awareness Day. Let's talk about that a little bit more.
Sure.
Okay. It was designated by the AASL and is celebrated to raise awareness of the overly restrictive and increasingly aggressive blocking of legitimate educational websites and academically useful social networking tools used by students and educators in schools and school libraries. Yeah. I read a bunch of the sites that are blocked that they wish that they would block, things like Facebook even, because they're like, well, no, that was my first impression. But the more I read, the more that they kind of convinced me, like, the kids are on it, whether we like it or not. And
Sure.
blocking it means that we cannot teach them how to use it correctly. Or, you know, when there's bullying happening off campus, the school cannot step in and assist students who are being bullied online.
Yeah.
And that's not okay.
I get it. I get it. I guess my concern is that, you know, in an ideal situation, I would want them not to be banned.
Right.
Right. And the focus should be on teaching.
Yeah.
Right. A teaching moment.
Yeah.
Not banning something,
Exactly.
because that's the lazy way out. Right.
Yeah.
That's like teaching abstinence only in sex ed.
Right.
Right. And
Let's have a discussion about these things and trust our children to make choices based on what they've learned at home.
Right. And you can't teach them how to navigate something if you don't allow them to even navigate it.
Right.
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 And they are going, the fact is that whether their parents and the school bans it or not, those kids are still going to be on social media.
Yeah.
I guarantee it.
Yeah.
It's not even a question at this point. They will have an account through a friend's phone or something.
Yep.
That they manage, and that's just the way this world operates at this
Did
point.
you see there's been times when kids had their smartphones taken away from them, and they were so addicted that they found a way to use the online thing through their refrigerator to get on Twitter or something like
Now
that.
that is some serious innovation.
Yeah.
You know?
And
I mean,
like everybody's like, these kids are so addicted, and I'm like, did y'all miss the part where they figured out shit that we can't figure out?
Right.
I'm like
compared to your level of technical expertise, they just hacked fucking NASA.
right?
You know,
I'm like
or whatever. You
in
know?
our day, we made fun of our parents for not being able to program the VCR.
Right.
And now the kids are making fun of us for not being able to get online or not know that you can get online through the smart devices in our home.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
I'm like, y'all are missing the thread here.
I kind of feel bad for our kids because I was always very technical, and
Yeah.
I know how to do things. So
Yeah.
but you know what? Here's the difference, right? Our kids grew up in an environment where we encouraged, you know, thought and conversation, and we encouraged them to bring us ideas, and I think we fostered an environment that allowed them to be online and still have a family discussion about things.
Yeah.
And it seemed to work, you know, and I think I think more importantly than anything with regard to the banned website week or website day or whatever.
Yeah.
Website, right. I think the problem is that we're not addressing the issue that is there.
Right.
Right. And the issue that is there is that these kids are getting on things that we don't know, that a lot of parents don't know what they're doing.
Well,
right.
And the problem is not that the kids are addicted. Like, no, that's a symptom of the problem. The problem is that the parents are addicted and they are using the phone, that they're letting the phone entertain their kids while they're in another room sitting on the couch on their phone.
Yeah, and they don't care until it's too late.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's the general MO
My child
of the
would
bad
never.
online parent.
My child would never. That's what they always say.
Sure.
And that's like, you don't even know what your child would or wouldn't.
No, I think it helps to set healthy boundaries with regard to technology, and like we had things where, like if you started getting in a bad mood because of technology, it was off.
Yep.
You're done.
Yeah.
That's it.
It was particularly like video game kind of things. Like they would get like shitty about it. Both of them. They would get shitty about like, I keep losing or dying. And they would like get so angry. And we're like, okay, so you need a break.
Yeah.
Like, I understand frustration at losing, but you are like legit pissed off. And that much emotion toward a game is not okay.
And during early adolescence and younger, we checked in with them very, very much with regard to their activity online.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it was something we monitored on a regular basis.
Yeah.
And, kept track of. So.
Yeah. And, we helped them set up their accounts, and we, made it clear that we could check in on those accounts anytime. But
we also respected boundaries.
Sure.
So there's a healthy mix,
You have to have that conversation.
Yeah.
And not just once.
Right.
Like, you have to keep checking in.
Yeah, it's like you can't have the birds and the bee talk and then just like let your kids go.
Right.
Like that can't be it.
Well,
you have to continue to talk about that kind of stuff and be okay with having open discussions about these things ongoing in your household. Because information is how you move forward, and it's how you move through life and how you understand and adapt.
Well, like, kid asked me, why do you keep talking about this? We already talked about this before. And I'm like, right. But like, I say I love you more than once. I don't just say I love you once when you were born and then never again. Because I already told you.
Right.
Right. Like, no, I keep telling you so you keep knowing it.
Yeah.
Like, this stuff is just like that. It's important. I'm relaying data to you and then I'm reinforcing it.
Right.
So anyway, whatever.
Yeah.
So the AASL, that's the school thing, advises that filtering websites does the next generation of digital citizens a grave disservice. Students must develop skills to evaluate information from all types of sources in multiple formats, including the internet. Relying solely on filters does not teach young citizens how to be savvy searchers or how to evaluate the accuracy of information.
Sure.
So I totally appreciate that.
I do too.
Yeah. Amen. Do I want my kid floating around on a porn site? No.
But if you don't address it, they will end up there anyway.
And maybe not on purpose. Maybe yes on purpose.
Right.
Like, you got to talk about it.
But if you are open about it, it's something that you are able to address.
Right. And then if they do want to go to a porn site, maybe they'll do it intelligently and not download, a virus to the computer or have the FBI show up,
Right. Yeah.
I don't know. Whatever.
that's always not a, Nobody wants that to happen.
No. That reminds me of one of my nephews.
This is what?
When one of my nephews was really, really young, like I'm talking like 3rd or 4th grade.
Okay.
Parents were checking in on his phone and found a search history that included Scooby-Doo and Velma and Daphne. Doing the thing.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Well, that just, that's why you check in on your kids.
Yeah. I just thought, oh, wow, that is so funny.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, so history. Banned Books Week has been observed in late September to early October since 1982, when it was founded by First Amendment and library activist Judith Krug. Krug said that the Association of American Publishers contacted her with ideas to bring banned books to the attention of the American public after a, quote, slew of books had been banned that year. Krug relayed the information to the American Library Association's Intellectual Freedom Committee, and 6 weeks later, they celebrated the first Banned Books Week.
Very cool.
Let's keep in mind, 1982, that would have been like right at the beginning of Satanic Panic.
And Reagan's, presidential, campaign, or,
like, the super social beginnings of when Republicanism was getting tied to Christianity.
Yeah.
Hardcore.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that makes perfect sense of
it does.
why
it does.
The slew of books were suddenly banned everywhere.
Yeah.
So, yep.
Unfortunately, yes.
The top 10 most challenged books of 2023 are Genderqueer by Maya Kababi, and I apologize for my horrible pronunciation. Reasons for LGBTQIA plus content and claim to be sexually explicit. All Boys Aren't Blue, which was on the list the last time we did this episode, by George M. Johnson. Reasons LGBTQIA content claim to be sexually explicit. This book is Gay by Juno Dawson for the reasons of LGBTQIA plus content, sex education, claim to be sexually explicit.
I'm sensing a theme.
Are
here.
you sensing a pattern?
Yeah.
The Perks of Being a Wallflower.
Oh, such a
good book and movie. Yeah. By Stephen Chbosky. Reasons claim to be sexually explicit, LGBTQIA content, rape, drugs, and profanity.
Jesus Christ, that's fucking bullshit.
I mean, those things all happen,
look,
but
that book should absolutely be available to high schoolers.
Yeah,
absolutely,
100%. Yeah, totally. Because it's not about what happened to the kid; it's about how the kid dealt with it in the aftermath and his friends and learning.
Right, and I'm speaking on this one because I know this one, but I'm sure that this applies to the others as well.
Sure.
But I mean, there's no fucking reason that should be banned.
No, it's such a good book.
Yeah.
Flamer by Mike Curato. Reasons LGBTQIA plus content claim to be sexually explicit.
Yeah.
The Bluest Eye by Toni Morrison. Reasons depiction of rape, incest, claim to be sexually explicit, EDI content. Okay, now we've got a tie for the next two. Tricks by Ellen Hopkins. Reasons claim to be sexually explicit, drugs, depiction of rape, LGBTQIA content. Ellen Hopkins, I believe, is the one who wrote Speak and then Shout.
Oh yeah,
And
those were Kid read those actually. And
yeah,
really liked those,
I read those several years before Kid. I read them way before Kid.
That's right. Yeah.
I was like super impressed and also just on my toes, ready for discussion. For Speak and Shout, because those are very heavy material, very well written, very good books, but heavy.
Yeah.
So. The other one that tied with it was Me and Earl and the Dying Girl by Jesse Andrews. Reasons claim to be sexually explicit and profanity.
Oh, not profanity.
Right?
Fucking bullshit. That's crap.
Let's Talk About It by Erica Moen and Matthew Nolan. Reasons claim to be sexually explicit, sex education, LGBTQIA content. Again, see the pattern?
No, this is feeling. I mean, specifically the sexual content and the LGBTQIA content.
Yeah.
And even more so in that pairing, the LGBTQIA is very much religiously driven.
Yes.
You know.
Yeah.
And I don't think that. I don't know. Again, I think these themes are better. Like, no matter what your views are on them. Right? Even if your views are against LGBTQIA, you should be willing to entertain the idea so that you can discuss it with your kid, right?
Intelligently.
If you are confident in your ideas,
right,
you should be willing to allow that information to enter and then discuss, right? To me, it's okay if your kid reads something that you don't agree with, as long as you are willing and able to discuss that stuff with them. Right. That's the important aspect of allowing for books not to be banned, is the ability to teach from those moments.
Yeah.
And I think that's why we're having such an issue, is because we have a bunch of people in this country who are right-leaning religious fanatics who don't like LGBTQIA because of religion, only they don't really know why.
Yeah.
They don't understand their ideas of hate that they have towards these communities.
Yeah.
And therefore their answer is, don't talk about it. It just doesn't exist. Let's pretend it's not there.
Yeah.
And more so, let's make sure our kids can't see that it's there.
Right. Exactly.
Because we don't want to even talk about it.
No.
And avoidance is the way that it is dealt with now. And that's just, it's crap.
It's not okay.
Right.
It's just not okay.
No.
At the end of the day, it's not okay.
Right.
Okay, the last one on the list for the top 10 for last year.
Sorry.
No, that's okay. Was the book Sold by Patricia McCormick. Reasons claim to be sexually explicit and depiction of rape.
I am willing to bet, if I recall correctly, that it's also because it had to do with the slave trade.
Okay.
That Sold is the name of the book. And it's about a girl who is sold. So I'm going to guess it's also because it made white people uncomfortable.
Sure.
Because they don't like that DEI shit. You know?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, don't you talk about how I personally used to own a slave and suck?
Right.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Did you hear yourself, sir?
Yeah.
I don't think that you understood what I said, because you didn't own a slave. Your ancestors certainly did. And you should, be concerned about that. We should talk about it.
Right.
Let's talk about it.
Yeah. No, I that's the important part of these books
Right.
is the discussions, right?
But no, that's yucky. You're saying that I own a slave, and that's gross. And I'm like, well, it would be gross if you owned a slave, but that's not what I'm saying, stupid.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, people. Let's see. There's a Let Freedom Read Day on September 28th of this year, which is
the end of this week, basically.
Yeah. We're asking everyone to get ready to vote for the freedom to read, or to take at least one action to help defend books from censorship, and to stand up for the library staff, educators, writers, publishers, and booksellers who make all this available.
Yeah.
So, on the 28th, if you can do something, do it.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
The USA Today put out an article a couple days ago with regard to Banned Book Week.
Okay.
And we will link to this article in the show notes. They said across several polls, most Americans don't agree with book banning. An American Library Association survey of voters and public school parents found that 71% oppose removing books from public libraries.
Very cool.
Including a majority of Democrats, Republicans, and independents.
Very cool.
Yeah. In 2023, a USA Today investigation revealed that a site called booklooks.org was the resource behind hundreds of book challenges nationwide. Launched in 2022, the site promotes a book rating system that right-wing political activist group Moms for Liberty also uses.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, there will be times when they will challenge a book that a library doesn't even own.
Right.
But they got it off this list. So they're like, I want to challenge this.
And I don't know the exact stats on this, but there was, I think it was in the state of Florida, that was one woman got it was a large percentage of the books banned in that state.
Yeah.
One fucking woman.
Yeah. Because of this website.
Yeah. Right.
Bitch. Moms for Liberty has been a particularly powerful crusader within the parents' rights movement, with a major focus on sexual content. They don't like that sex stuff.
You know
except
what?
that they do.
It's funny. They're saying sexual content, but really, they lean heavily on the LGBTQIA.
Yeah.
And, they just, basically, if there is that theme in a book, they're going to call it sex content, regardless of whether it actually is or not.
Exactly.
So,
I mean, the fact that one of the books that always shows up on the banned books list, and I can't remember what it's called, but it's about two gay penguins that have a baby penguin that they kind of adopted, based on a true story kind of thing.
And they probably say that it has sexual content.
Yeah. And it should be banned because it's pushing an agenda. And it's you know what? It fucking is. It's pushing the agenda of love is love and get the fuck over it. And this is 2024 and it's okay to be queer in any capacity.
But it's no more pushing an agenda than if you had a husband and wife.
Right.
Right.
Exactly.
That is the same agenda.
Yeah.
Just from a different perspective.
Exactly.
So they need to, the perspectives are skewed. We aren't looking at these ideas from a secular perspective or a free thinking perspective where you can adjust your views based on reality.
Right.
We're looking at them from a religious lens.
Yeah.
And that religious lens is allowing people to say that these things are evil, bad, and wrong.
Yeah.
And that's merely their take, their opinion, because of their religious upbringing and their religious indoctrination.
Yeah.
And that's bullshit.
Right.
We're essentially allowing our public schools to be monitored by a religious cult.
Yeah.
And that is complete crap.
And it's terrifying that there's a large portion of the country that is for a guy who would make that happen.
Right.
You know?
You're talking about Trump, I'm assuming. Yes.
Yeah, piece of shit.
Right.
Yeah. So going on with this article from the USA Today, in Florida, recent legislation dictates that titles including sexual content, even if it is not pornographic, are subject to removal. This means materials like the Merriam-Webster Dictionary, The Color
Jesus
Purple, and Anne Frank's Diary.
Let's not forget the Bible.
That's
I'm just
not
saying,
on the
I'm
list.
just-
I'm sorry.
But
But that's a good book. That's got the good news. Yeah.
Okay.
They have all been pulled from shelves to review. Some Shakespeare titles are at risk. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. You got to try hard.
Jeez.
So when they say that they are up for review, that's the challenge.
Yeah.
Challenge means that we're going to talk about it and see what the complaint is and if it's valid. If we actually pull it from the shelf and no longer allow it, then that means it's banned.
Got it.
So that's the difference between challenged and banned.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
But these books have been pulled because they've been challenged. They just haven't necessarily been banned, but they might as well be because they're not on the shelf.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So under Florida legislation, teachers can be charged with a felony for possessing and distributing quote unquote inappropriate books.
I got to tell you, if I was single, didn't have a family to worry about,
Yeah.
and I was a school librarian,
Yeah.
you better bet your ass I'm going to go to fucking jail over that.
Oh, yeah.
I would fucking make a point.
I would
and
too.
I'm not suggesting that anybody do that. But
If you are able to and you think that this is an important cause.
No, yeah.
Yeah, I am
But
encouraging
I'm not
you
suggesting somebody do it just to do it. But I'm just saying that, to me, this is an important cause, and fuck you for putting me in jail.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Yeah, honestly.
That is some bullshit.
Yeah, and I would make sure that it got fucking national coverage.
Right.
Are
I'll
you
write,
sure that's
I'll write
what
a
you
goddamn
want?
book and make a movie afterward.
Yeah.
I mean, that guy for kneeling on the 50-yard line up in Seattle or whatever the fuck
Colin
it wears.
Kaepernick?
No.
Oh,
no,
I'm
the
sorry.
goddamn prayer guy.
No, you were saying.
Oh, I apologize. No, I should
kneeling
have.
on the, and I was like,
No.
Colin Kaepernick.
No, the 50. That's why I said the 50-yard line.
The football coach,
Yeah.
the high school football
I
coach
don't know or care to know his name.
It turns out he's not even from that state.
Oh, I know. He lives in Florida now.
Motherfucker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he has a movie deal, a book deal.
Yep.
He's making the rounds. He's like making the rounds of interviews all over the fucking place. This fucker's famous
Yeah.
for kneeling on a goddamn football field.
Well, just in case listeners don't know what the fuck we're talking about.
Yeah, sorry.
This football coach for a high school, he had come from out of state, I guess,
Florida.
to be a teacher at this school, and I don't remember what state the school's in.
Right. I think it was in like Washington or Oregon or something.
I don't know.
It was somewhere in the northwest for sure.
Well, at any rate, he was having the football players come do a prayer at the goalpost or what the fuck ever. I don't know.
50-yard line.
50-yard line.
Sure.
Okay, whatever.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, before and after the game. And so he was fired because parents complained because, excuse you, what the fuck? That's not okay. So he sued and they found that, yeah, you shouldn't have fired him. He has the right to do that.
Right.
And he was rehired. He went back for one game and then skedaddled.
Well, you forgot to mention the most important part, because the Supreme Court sided with this fucker.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, our fucking Supreme Court
Yeah.
sided with this fucking asshole.
Yeah.
Changing, just whatever. I can't even stomach what is happening in the Supreme Court right now.
No.
And what
Here's
it's doing
the
to our
thing.
country, but it's
I have no business knowing anything about what's happening with the Supreme Court. And it pisses me the fuck off that I have to pay attention to that boring bullshit because they are just doing such a horrible job of deciphering the laws that have always been on the books, or not making the laws the way they should be, you know?
right.
It just pisses me off. Like, I should not have to pay the fuck attention to the Supreme Court and to know the names and the histories of them. Old me would never have been interested in that. I'm still not interested, but I'm pissed off enough at what they're doing that I do pay attention.
Sure.
And it takes up a large portion of my time knowing what them and all the fucking politicians are doing. Assholes. I hate them all. Just be boring, you guys. Just do your fucking job. Do it correctly. Stop being assholes. So throughout history, books promoting atheism, secularism, or scientific inquiry that challenged religious orthodoxy have been targeted, often for censorship or outright banning. Specific examples of atheist or humanist texts that have faced censorship are The God Delusion by Richard Dawkins, Letter to a Christian Nation by Sam Harris, Why I Am Not a Christian by Bertrand Russell. Isn't he a mathematician, I think?
I don't know.
Okay,
I should know the answer to that, but I don't.
You look that up. I'm pretty sure he's a mathematician.
Got it.
And other works by early freethinkers like Thomas Paine and Voltaire. These bans attempt to suppress dissenting viewpoints and limit access to information that challenges religious dogma, which is basically what we've been talking about this whole episode.
Right.
Banned Books Week provides an opportunity to recognize and oppose attempts to silence atheist voices and defend the freedom to access and explore a diversity of perspectives, including those that challenge religious beliefs.
Got it.
And that's,
he was a mathematician,
Yes.
along with philosopher, which is how I
yeah.
knew him. But so yes,
he's a smarty guy.
yeah.
The suppression of atheist thought within the larger theme of banned books highlights the struggle for intellectual freedom and encompasses a wide range of perspectives, including those critical of religion. The writings of early freethinkers like Baruch Spinoza and Denis Diderot were often suppressed or banned due to their critiques of religion and promotion of rationalism. And I know Spinoza was one of the early philosophers in helping compose our, I forget what he did, but I want to say he was either part of the Enlightenment or right after that helped in the creation of what we based our Constitution on or something.
Okay.
He was a great writer.
Yeah. Right.
Something like that.
I mean, he influenced a lot of big thinkers from what I just did a quick search because I don't know enough about. I've heard the name before, but I don't know enough about him, and I should because he's very influential.
Yeah.
And yeah, it definitely would be. This is the kind of stuff that I want to get into eventually. They're the people that are on the list of people that he influenced are people that I want to read too. So I mean, definitely want to dig down this rabbit hole.
Yeah,
so.
he was more of a political philosopher,
right?
So that was where he leaned.
Sure.
Another would be, of course, Charles Darwin's On the Origin of Species, and other scientific texts that challenge creationist views have also faced censorship attempts from religious groups.
Of course.
Because science.
Yeah.
And we can't have science.
No, I mean it's sad, but Darwin has become this. It's not. We can't view it as just science because it's such a political thing as well, right? It's become a catch point for politics and religion because of how controversial it is to the idea of the Christian religion in the United States, right? Or religion in general. I'm not saying just the United States, but the idea that we're not just made from fucking dirt or a god booger or something is just it hurts people that are religious's feelings. So they can't take it. So
no, it's true.
But that's the thing. It's a scientific book, right?
Yeah.
Why can't we just examine it on its merits, and then if you want to dismiss it, find the reasons to dismiss it.
Scientifically dismiss the science.
Yeah, sure.
The way other scientists do.
Sure.
That's the wonderful thing about science
no problem being wrong.
Yeah.
Let's be. I want. You know what? If I'm a scientist, I want to be fucking wrong. Prove me so wrong that you're right.
Yeah.
Because I want to know.
You want to be a cog in the progression towards knowledge.
Yeah. I want to know the right.
Yeah.
So if I'm wrong, please make it right.
Yeah.
That's what that knowledge. That's what knowledge is all about. You want to be the most right.
You want to have the most correct answer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's to a lot of people. That's very important.
Yeah.
And to me, it's very important.
To me as well.
I think that it is very important to be as right as possible, whether we're talking about science, whether we're talking about social issues, whether we're talking about, I don't know, what to eat for lunch, like there's right answers,
Yeah.
The right answer for me one day, though, on lunch is not going to be the same as the next day. So,
There's nuance. Like, not everything is just a simple answer. And actually, something that I wanted to propose that we talk about next week is an article that I read and some comments about it that kind of discussed the difference and the misunderstandings with regard to trans people and intersex people.
yeah,
And
you actually shared that with me today.
it was so fascinating. The article itself and the comments. One of the people speaking about the article and pointing out some of its flaws was a trans person.
Yeah.
And it was so interesting because a bunch of LGBTQIA very firm allies, like
Yes.
staunch allies, were arguing with the trans person's interpretation. And so the discussion just really unfolded from there. I thought that would be a great topic for next week.
I agree. I think and we would be examining that from a perspective of we are not trans ourselves, obviously, but we do have a kid that identifies as trans.
Yeah.
So that is an important aspect to our lives. And I think that our ideas with regard to that discussion fell in line with kind of how we feel about other liberal discussions that are out in the world.
Yeah.
And that's that sometimes there's the most right sometimes, but there's also trying to get people to even recognize that there is a right.
Yeah.
Right. And you have to decide who you're talking to.
Yeah.
Right?
And my point too was that sometimes the answer is nuanced.
Yeah.
And sometimes the answer can be too nuanced for the audience that you're speaking to, which is what you were just saying.
Right.
So
and I'm not going to get into it too much further because that might be the discussion. That'll
definitely be part of the discussion.
Next week,
yeah.
So.
But I think that would be a nice follow-up from this because I have reached the end of Banned Books Week.
Well, that's great.
Yeah.
I mean, hopefully we never have to talk about banned books ever again.
I know, right?
Maybe this podcast will change the whole fucking world.
Get the fuck out of here.
DeSantis will lose his job. Things are just going to happen because of this. This podcast will be the most phenomenal banned book podcast ever, and then everything will just fix itself.
Anyway,
right?
I usually don't like to leave you guys with a challenge or a call to action or homework. Mm-hmm. But this one time, I am going to assign some homework. Within the next few weeks, if not this week, see if you can come across a list of banned books and challenge yourself to read one. And if you're not much of a reader, there are children's books. There are children's picture books.
Yeah.
That you can just look online and they're free. Or you can go to your local library if you're like, me and pressed for money.
Yeah, right.
But find a banned book and read it.
Well, and supporting libraries, just for the record, is always the right thing to do.
Oh my God.
Regardless of whether you utilize them enough or not, make sure you at least support them.
If you walked into a library and asked a librarian, I would like to read a banned book. Here's what I'm looking for. Can you help me? They would be tickled pink.
Yeah.
And if you told them, I just listened to a podcast that talked about what heroes librarians are.
Yeah.
You would probably bring them to tears.
Right. Yeah.
So do that.
Yeah. I really do think that librarians are some of the most important frontline workers with regard to our
First Amendment
rights.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I do appreciate their work they do. And I love recognizing that fact. And we get the opportunity at least once a year with the Banned Book Week, because we do tend to go over this, I think, yearly. But
Banned Book Week, there's also a library day that I tend to celebrate myself, but don't really mention. But
we like books.
We like books.
There you go. That's what it is. I am actually going to send another homework assignment with you guys.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. So if you guys get an opportunity, I would love to hear if you have the opportunity to send us an email or some other private conversation, I would love to hear how you have handled a discussion with a family member about transgender. If you've had that discussion.
Yeah.
I would love to hear how that went.
Transgender and or intersex and or any kind of gender or sexuality.
Just because we're going to be talking about this next week, if you've got a story to share it with us. If you don't know our email address right off the top of your head, it's sacrilegiousdiscourse@gmail.com. Or you can go to our website, sacrilegiousdiscourse.com.
Yeah.
And there's a contact page on there. Either one will work. Or, there's various social media places you can reach us as well.
Yep.
But long form is going to be easier to email, I think. So.
Yeah. And if you have a story to share and you're willing to share it, let us know that too.
Yeah. We would love to hear from you.
Yeah.
And I don't know that we will, utilize that in our podcast, but we still want to hear the stories and we may utilize it, but let us know if it's okay to.
Yes,
like
please.
if you do send us something, let us know if it's okay to share it or not.
Yeah.
If it's personal, tell us. We won't share any of it.
Absolutely.
But, if you don't mind us sharing it, let us know that too.
Yeah.
So, do you have anything else for us before we get out of here?
Read a banned book and tell us about your discussions.
Yes, those are the things. All right. Thank you guys for being patient with us over the last couple of weeks. We should be back on track for the most part now. So
hopefully.
Yeah. And everything will be kind of how we discussed at the beginning of the episode.
Yeah.
And going forward, that's how it'll be.
Yay.
So thanks, guys.
Have a good night. Bye.
Hey, wife, I guess that's the end?
But husband, that's just sad.
It doesn't have to be. We are on lots of social media platforms like Twitter. Our handle there is sacrilegious_D.
For D's nuts.
Oh my God. Stop doing that. Anyway, we're also on Facebook, Instagram, and Pinterest. There's a link to all of our social media sites at our website.
Ooh, we have a website?
Yeah, it's sacrilegiousdiscourse.com, where you can also find a link to our merch shop.
We have a merch shop?
Yep, we have podcast-themed clothing, mugs, notebooks, and more, as well as an atheist and science-themed products.
Wow, our fans should really go check that out right now.
Definitely. They can get in touch with us by sending an email to sacrilegiousdiscourse@gmail.com. But before they do that, we could really use some help.
Oh yeah? With what?
Well, it's not free running the podcast, and we need some financial support in order to get better equipment, which will free up time so we can concentrate on our podcast and our fans.
Okay, so what should they do?
Head over to patreon.com/sacrilegious discourse and sign up as a contributor on our podcast. Supporters there receive additional bi-weekly episodes that we record just for our Patreon members for as little as $2 a month.
Also, we'd really appreciate it if you would like and subscribe on whatever platform you're using.
And Apple Podcast reviews help us out tremendously.
Like and subscribe, leave an Apple review, join us on Twitter, support us on Patreon. That's a lot of instructions. Don't forget to say thanks.
Thanks.
Okay, bye.